For the first time since 2011, a sports rivalry between Baltimore area's only two local universities with a college football program. It's the battle for Greater Baltimore, and it's back. The Morgan State Bears made the short bus trip across town to Johnny Unitas Stadium to face the Towson Tigers. Hi, everybody. Great to see you tonight. I'm Phil Shannon, along with my partner tonight, the czar of the playbook, Emery Hunt. We are in for a treat tonight. Let's start with Morgan State, and Coach Ferrier is very excited about his new quarterback coming in from Mississippi State, 6'7", Elijah Stanley, and he is all of 6'7". Everyone cannot wait to see him play tonight.
You talk about a guy that's 6'7", 245, 235. Any part of the football field he wants to throw the ball to, he has the arm strength to get it and the temperament to lead his football team.
On the other side for Towson, Coach Ambrose is very excited because he has a big-time playmaker. Last year as a freshman, dominant. Shane Simpson did it all last year as a freshman. Now he's a sophomore. He's going to get the ball even more here tonight.
Yeah, he's a football game plan preseason All-American, all-purpose dynamo, rusher, receiver, and most importantly, as a kick returner, he's going to affect the ball game.
It'll be exciting. I know you're fired up.
I am fired up, man. It's a battle of Greater Baltimore, man.
Let's get it going. It's the Bears and the Tigers. The battle for Greater Baltimore. Kickoff is coming up next on the Sportsfever Television Network. Tonight's game on STN is brought to you by Morgan State University and Towson University. A lot of rain earlier in the Greater Baltimore area, but the rain has stopped. Cloudy and 59. The weather forecast, no rain until later in the evening for the Battle of Greater Baltimore between Morgan State. The band is ready, Towson State is ready, and our member of our team down on the field, Amanda Kuhl, is ready. Let's check in with Amanda on the field. Amanda?
That's right, Phil. We're more than ready down here on the field. As you know, these two teams have not played each other since 2011, with Towson winning that one 42-3. But tonight, it's about a lot more than just a victory. For a lot of the players on both of these teams, they know each other. They played either with or against each other in high school, so tonight they're playing for bragging rights. Guys, there is some rain in the forecast for the rest of the evening, but don't expect a little rain to stop Towson from throwing the football.
Thanks, Amanda. Looks like that rain could come a little bit after 8 o'clock, according to the forecast. And this contest marks the 24th overall meeting between these two crosstown schools. Towson holds the 17-6 advantage in the all-time series. As Amanda mentioned, the last time they played was 2011, and there's a guy that's getting ready to go. Everyone wants to see Eli Staley, the quarterback, 6'7" from Mississippi State. Emery Hunt, I know you've been excited all day. We finally got the battle for Greater Baltimore in front of us. Kickoff just seconds away.
Yeah, I like how Amanda mentioned that Towson will be throwing the football, because we all know what Towson's bread and butter is. It's running the football. So I'm excited to see if they're going to come out and air this thing out. We know Morgan State will try to push the football down the field. This game will be one that will be won in the trenches by either squad. I'm excited to see those guys compete up front.
These two schools just about 5 miles apart, and they're glad to have this rivalry back. Very excited. They held a press conference earlier this summer with both coaches. You must say both Coach Ambrose for Towson and, of course, Coach Ferrier on the other side. Passion is a great word to describe their belief in football. They're two passionate guys that just love this game.
And I met with both guys over the summer, did an interview with both coaches, and they were excited about this game, and they both permeate throughout the entire program. Everyone involved in Towson's program and Morgan State's program is amped for this game.
Alex Rea will kick it off for Morgan State. Simpson is back to receive it for Towson State, and we're underway in the battle for Greater Baltimore, Towson and Morgan State. And Towson will have the football to start things off at the 28-yard line. That's where their offense will come out. Of course, they are led by Morgan Mahalik, their quarterback. As we take a look at the starters, Morgan Mahalik, of course, last year started the season, then got injured, had to sit out, but then was dynamite, won the last 3 games as quarterback. And, of course, Simpson is a guy who's going to get a lot of carries. The wide receivers are all new. Going to have to find out who they have, and then on that offensive line, it's a group that's starting to come together. 1st and 10 for Towson. As the battle for Greater Baltimore is underway. Simpson with the ball and picks up 8 yards. There's the explosiveness, and That's the physical play we're going to see out of Towson. Let's take a look at Morgan State's defense, and I know you like this defense, especially Franklin at the defensive tackle. This Morgan State defense has certainly improved.
Yeah, Franklin could play any one of the 3 spots up front. I'm excited to see him move around that defensive line.
And watch out for Griffin, the linebacker, and the secondary very much improved as well. They have a strong safety, Carl Garns, who's a very, very good strong safety, made big plays last year. So now a 2nd and 3 for the Tigers, trying to move the sticks and get a first down. They give to the fullback this time, C.J. Williams, the senior, who gets through, and short of the first down will bring up a 3rd down for the Tigers.
And you saw a little influence trap right there. They invited the pressure to come in. You saw Franklin get through pretty quickly, and they ran right where he just vacated. So nearly picked up the first down. They could have went for a bigger game, but he tripped up right there, called the mosh pit on the line of scrimmage. But good job by Morgan State, brings up a 3rd and short.
3rd down for the Tigers, 3rd and 3. Now in the Wildcat. They give it off to C.J. Williams off the Wildcat, and Morgan State not fooled, loses a yard. How about that? That time Mahalik split out, and the Wildcat look did not work for Morgan State. Here's another, for Towson. Here's another look. Great job by Morgan State.
Great assignment, sound defensive play right there. You see the injury, and it looks like a knee, and it hurts my knee to see that leg hyperextend like that. Hopefully it's okay, but we're going to go to break after this, because that's just a tough thing to happen.
Just underway, the Battle of Greater Baltimore, Morgan State and Towson. We'll be right back.
Monday Night Football is back. Saints Vikings at 6:55. Chargers Broncos at 10:15. September 11th on ESPN.
Come too far to stop now. I will fight for my survival.
Running back C.J. Williams, injured on the play, was helped off the field. It looked like a pretty serious injury, and Towson will have to punt the football away with a 4th and 4 from the 34-yard line. Carl Garnis back to receive the punt, takes it from Morgan State, and has a 12-yard return, and that's where the Bears will start on offense, led by their new quarterback, the new big man on campus, 6'7", redshirt junior, Elijah Staley.
Morgan State is coming off a very good opening defensive series. You see Carl Garnis catch that on a running start. Normally you don't want to do that as a returner, but I don't mind him doing that. He's trying to make a play. He ended up putting them in good field position.
You ask how big Staley is. He's 6'7". Played at Mississippi State, was the backup for Dak Prescott when he was there, and then transferred. First pass incomplete, trying to throw it right away out of the shotgun. And let's take a look at the Morgan State Bears lineup, and we're excited about Herb Walker Jr. He set the single season record for rushing as a sophomore, then didn't play his junior year because of academics, and then he also was injured, so he is ready to go. This offensive line you like. Very good group there that has been together for a little while, and I know Coach Ferrier's excited about that offensive line. 2nd and 10 now for the Bears from the 46. Staley will keep it himself. Has the first down. Pickup of 11 yards for Staley and a first down for the Bears.
And that's something that's unique about their game. Staley is not a guy that's known to be the runner, but when he does pull and run around the corner, you have to respect it.
Here's the Towson defense, and they want to dominate up front. Clifton Jones is a senior who is very, very good up front. Those linebackers are there to cause a lot of problems, including Hayward. The secondary, well, they want to make sure this secondary comes together and plays well for the Tigers. 1st and 10 for Morgan.
And that's going to be the biggest battle they're going to have to win in that secondary, because you look at Morgan State's receiving core, 6'3", 6'2", 6 feet tall. They're going to have to win above the rim if they want to have success.
Staley gives it out, and nowhere to go. Gives it off to Bailey, and that was read by the Towson Tiger defense coming up to make the big play. Payne coming up to make the stop. There's Coach Ferrier. He knew that play was sniffed out the entire way, trying to give the running back some space, but good job by the Tigers on D.
And they're listed as linebackers by position, but they're really strong safeties. He's 5'10", 6 feet tall, 198 pounds, so he's going to fly up there and make that play in space. So they're out there basically in a 4-2-5.
Lost 8 yards on that play. So not a successful play, and I know Coach Ferrier was very excited about his team putting together some solid offensive plays and be explosive. That pass incomplete, was thrown low, and good coverage there by Watson, who knocked it down for the Tigers. Watson was on coverage and wasn't having any of that.
Morgan State has come out and hasn't been afraid of pushing the ball vertically down the field. You saw in the first play a deep shot, which was there. This was a play that ball was thrown perfectly for the receiver. He has to come up with that reception.
3rd and 18 now for the Bears.
See if Towson can turn up the pressure defensively.
3 wideouts there on your bottom of your screen, and Staley will want to throw it. Has time to throw. Herb Walker nowhere to go. Stopped at midfield. Towson defense steps up big. Justin Dixon with the stop for the Towson D, and the Bears are going to have to punt it away.
That was the first time they tried to get Herb Walker Jr. involved in the ball game on a nice screen route. It was well designed, well executed, but just a great defensive play. Good team defense right there by Towson. Both defenses have come out ready to play.
Leatherberry's back to receive the punt for the Tigers. So far, a defensive battle in the battle for Greater Baltimore. Leatherberry back will let the punt drop in front of him and takes a Morgan State bounce all the way inside the 5-yard line down to the 1.5-yard line, and that's where Towson State will have it on offense.
Yeah, having talked to Coach Ferrier over the summer, one of his points of emphasis he wanted to stress this year, his team will be better, much better in the special teams department. We've seen that in how they've covered, how they've returned, and also how they've kicked.
He's hoping the defense will come together and play big. A lot of new coaches on Coach Ferrier's staff. He was the interim head coach last year. This year took the interim tag off, and he got himself a couple of new coaches coming in. So 1st and 10 for Towson. They'll try to create some space. Mahalik will throw it. Has a man and a catch down to the 20-yard line and a flag. Wow, coming up and making the big grab was Greenwood, the junior from Washington, D.C. I believe it's probably going to be pass interference, you would think, on that play.
Looked like it.
Pass interference. Defense, number 20.
Didn't need the pass interference. He still made the catch.
Automatic, 1st down.
All Craven Rogers had to do was just turn around, and he could have made a better play on that football. But right there, he's looking at the wide receiver, got his hand on that receiver. You have to let him go after you get past 5 yards. That's what the ref saw, and that's why they called the penalty.
Greenwood goes up and uses all of his 6'3" length to make that catch. That was a pretty play. You talk about the wide receivers for Towson. They had 3 good wide receivers last year that graduated, so this entire wide receiver core is pretty much new for the Tigers. 1st and 10 now for the 21. Mahalik has time to throw. And good defense there, stepping up to knocking it down. Rogers was able to knock that ball down. Let's go downstairs to Amanda to get an update on C.J. Williams. Amanda?
Williams was in a lot of pain when he first came off the field. You could see the trainers were checking out that left knee of his, but he is up and moving right now. It would be a shame to see a kid like him go down. He is a graduate transfer here at Towson, and last year, his senior year at Bucknell, he missed the entire season and spent the time as helping as an assistant coach on the sidelines. So it's good to see him running over here on the sideline.
From the Patriot League to the CAA, Mahalik to throw the ball, 2nd and 10. Incomplete. Secondary, you mentioned it. You thought this secondary for Morgan State was going to be, very much improved, and they're showing that already. Great play there by McBarrow,
and you see
the sophomore.
You see Coach Ferrier is not afraid to press these guys. They've played up close on the line of scrimmage. They're playing man coverage across the board. They're not afraid. They trust their guys in coverage, and it has shown up in the last 3 plays.
This is a situation Towson doesn't want to be in too often, a 3rd and 10. Mahalik is out of the gun. Simpson out of the backfield, and Mahalik will have to run the football. Trying to get the first down. Slides and gets 12 yards and moves the chains for the Tigers. Mahalik with the right move there to tuck and run.
Yeah, good job right there. That's what you want to see from your quarterback when everything is covered. Take off, pick up the yards when you can with your legs. And you see right there, the guy coming across the field, the defender, he was in no man's lane. He didn't want to leave his guy open. He didn't know where Mahalik was on the field. He could have still thrown that football. So good job, good field awareness by number 6.
Tigers with the ball at the 30 now. Backs in that I formation. We're expecting a lot out of the sophomore Simpson from Easton, Pennsylvania. There's a flag down.
Looked like he forgot the snap count. Quarterback.
Offense, number 6, 5-yard penalty. It remains first down.
Emery, how often does that happen where the quarterback forgets the snap count?
Exactly. Usually it's guys like myself in the backfield that are so focused on getting the football that you forget what the snap count is. Rarely see the quarterback do it himself.
Coach Ambrose there on the sideline. His brother Jared's the offensive coordinator. Coach Ambrose in his 9th season. Played here at Towson. Very passionate about this city. Very passionate about Towson Tiger football.
He's Towson through and through, man. He's a great coach.
And there's a whistle and a timeout by Towson. With 9:26 to go in the first quarter and no score. And we'll be back with no score. The battle for Greater Baltimore on the Sportsfever Television Network. Towson with a 1st and 15 and a whistle. No score, just underway, first quarter. Morgan State and Towson. Battle for Greater Baltimore. Phil Shaner alongside Nazar, the playbook, Emery Hunt. Man to cool down on the sidelines for us. They'll reset things and get a 1st and 15. For Mahalik from the shotgun. Tigers with 3 wideouts, the top of your screen, 2 at the bottom.
No safety back deep, 1 safety back deep, sort of.
Mahalik, time to throw the football, wants to go up top. Intercepted. Was batted in the air and brought down, and a Morgan State interception. Coming up to make the big play was Brandon Griffin, the linebacker from Baltimore, Maryland. Comes up and makes the play, the redshirt freshman. Junior, the ball was batted in the air, and Morgan State will take that turnover.
First of all, you had press across the board, 1 safety back deep, so it looked as if they were in cover 1 or cover 0. And you have a linebacker running with the receiver all the way down the field with step for step with him, and good hand-eye coordination right there to catch the ball off the tip, putting Morgan State once again in great field position.
There you saw the hit that Mahalik took. So maybe he had to get that one off a little quicker than he wanted. Mahalik hit hard there for the Tigers. So after the turnover, we'll see what Staley can do with it for the Bears. 1st and 10 from the 43. Herb Walker Jr. gets up to the 40, and a flag comes down at the 35.
You're going to catch wide receiver Brian Gentry on the hold on the outside.
Trying to create some space for Herb Walker. What a story he is. Again, had that incredible year as a sophomore.
You like your receivers to block on the outside. It was too good of a block. Just a great job right there by the linebacker, man. You don't see linebackers making plays like that. So when you have linebackers that can cover, it allows you to be much more versatile defensively. Now this holding penalty is going to push them back to 2nd and 20. It's going to make things a little difficult for them offensively to move the ball.
You don't want to be going backwards, that's for sure. You want to be going forward. Staley really hasn't played much. Played a little bit at Mississippi State. Had a touchdown pass there, but really didn't play a whole lot. And then went to a community college last year in Texas, so he hasn't played too much.
Now they got DeAndre Harris in the game, the backup quarterback.
Yeah, Harris is in, replacing Staley. He hands it off to Herb Walker Jr. Actually keeps it. Nice fake there. The fake to Herb Walker Jr., and he was in there all the way to keep that football. So there's a wrinkle that Coach Ferry will throw in. Bringing Harris in. He keeps it and tries to get some positive yards on that 2nd and long.
Yeah, he took a big-time shot right there. And again, you would rather your backup quarterback take that shot than your starter, but goodness.
Staley's back in. The 2nd and 15. Staley to throw, and has the completion and a big first down. And Morgan State, the Bears, move the football with the catch by Poteet, and he is one of the go-to guys that they're relying on. A senior coming back from Washington, D.C. Poteet with the big catch and the first down for Morgan State.
The effortless throw by Staley on that one. Laser sharp accuracy. Rocket arm coming from the left-hander. That ball surprised Poteet. He didn't think he was going to catch it. He caught it and he was able to pick up more yards after it.
1st and 10. Morgan State now in Towson territory at the 38. Pulls it away from Herb Walker and then throws the football to Staley. The completion to Bailey. You can tell that Staley's a basketball player, has good hand-eye coordination, good ball handling as well. Next week on the Sportsfever Television Network, out of the PSEC, the Pennsylvania State Athletic Conference, Division II, Westchester at Slippery Rock. That's next week at 6 o'clock on the Sportsfever Television Network. Our game of the week next week, Westchester and Slippery Rock Division II football out of the PSAC. Herb Walker trying to get some running room on the outside, ends up getting 3 yards. Trying to string that play out as much as he could there, Emery.
Towson has done a good job so far. They're not going to let Herb Walker beat them or get loose in this ball game. They really keyed on him defensively. Corner did a good job setting the edge, and guys were getting off blocks and chasing them to the football. So, again, when you have team defense like this, like Towson is playing early in this ball game, it helps you out. Now they just have to focus on slowing down the passing attack. If they can do that, then they'll have it covered on both ends of defense.
3rd and 7 for Staley and Morgan State. Fake to Walker. Time to throw across the middle. Completion. Still on his feet. Hard to bring down. How many black jerseys are going to bring down the big target? Deshaun David, 6'3", senior. Hard to bring down. They finally wrestled him down right by the sticks. We'll have to see if it's enough for a first down. Take another look here.
I think he got the first with that second effort. He put his shoulder down, and right there, that's when he picked up the first down. Good job, great second effort, and it's going to help them move the sticks once again. We have a flag down as well.
That was a great second effort because the initial hit, he didn't have that first down, and look at the team tackle, the swarming tackle by the Tigers.
Unsportsmanlike conduct foul. Number 77 of the offense. Pulling players off the pile. First down. That's 77's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
Calvin Hudson, our referee tonight.
I get they're trying to keep the peace between both squads as far as pulling guys off the pile, but I never liked that call, but this is a situation. He's trying to get his guy off the ground, but they want the refs to pull the players off the pile, but what a ticky-tack penalty to enforce. But
penalty goes on Bruce Trigg for Morgan State. No score, first quarter. 6 minutes to go, the battle for Greater Baltimore. The rivalry is back. They haven't played since 2011. 1st and 10. Ball is batted as Staley was trying to get rid of it, and incomplete. That was dangerous, almost picked off. Some pressure caused that ball to be batted down. I don't think it slipped out of Staley's hands. I think it was batted out of his hand.
Yeah, he got hit. That's the first time we saw pressure on Staley. The offensive line has done a great job, but here's a situation. You have the defensive end coming around that corner, Malik Tyne, beating that offensive tackle around the edge, and was able to affect that ball. Good thing it wasn't intercepted if you're a Morgan State fan.
2nd and 10, now from the 43 for Morgan State. Staley to throw it. His wide receiver wasn't really looking when that ball was coming out. And the pass was incomplete. Looking for Jones.
That was a great read by Staley. He's expecting that tight end to really turn around and find that football because of the influence fake that they ran with the motion in the backfield. That's a great read, but we're going to expect the miscommunication between the guy that hadn't played a lot of football in 2 years, so to speak, with his receiving corps.
Staley with a 3rd and 10. Plenty of time to throw. To the sidelines, throwing for the first down, and got the completion. And again, That is Poteet, his second catch of the game. Good enough for an 11-yard pickup and a first down for the Bears.
I've just been impressed with this offensive line of Morgan State. We talked about this in the open, how that offensive line was going to have to play a huge role. They've kept him clean back there in the pocket. You see a lot of calm with Staley throwing the football, and his arm, like we spoke about in our opening as well, he can get it to anywhere he wants to on that football field.
Staley so far 5 of 9 for 44 yards. Herb Walker picks up 5 yards. He's going to be tough getting going, running the football. That's actually Eric Harrell. Eric Harrell, who last year was their main running back with...
Now Herb Walker threw that great block on there to spring Harrell on that particular run.
That's a good 1-2 punch to have with Harrell and with Walker. 2nd and 7 after the pickup of 3. Staley to throw it, has the completion. Not much there though. Completion out to Baldwin. The freshman, 6'3", 200-pound freshman from Michigan. Will be short of the first down. The third down coming up.
It's a big third down right here for Towson. They have to get a stop. They've done a good job on third down throughout the course of this game. They've done a great job, obviously, by keeping them out of the end zone and off the scoreboard. Can they get another stop here and force a field goal?
3rd and 3. The Bears want to keep their drive going. 4:25 to go, clock ticking, first quarter. Pulls it away from Walker and throws the football. Incomplete, dangerous pass, nearly picked off. Was trying to look in space for David. That was the target, but well defended by the Tigers.
Yeah, the Tigers read that perfectly. That's great awareness by Towson. They were not fooled by the run fake. They were not fooled by the bootleg. And it was a 2-layered route. And the safety did a great job coming over top and making the stop. You see him read that deeper corner route, I'm sorry. He's able to come over there and influence a bad throw. Great job defensively.
Decision time for Coach Ferrier, and he's going to take a timeout to talk about it with a 4th and 3 coming up. And we'll take a timeout as well. A 4th down coming up for Morgan State with 4:17 to go in the first quarter. No score. The battle for Greater Baltimore.
He was committed to Yale to play.
Come too far to stop now. I will fight for my survival.
It ain't easy being on top. Everyone wants to bring the trophy home.
At a stadium, Phil Shader along with the czar of the playbook, Emery Hunt, Amanda Cool down on the sidelines, and the entire Sportsfever Television Network crew. Glad to be here for the Battle of Greater Baltimore. No score. Towson with a big 4th and 3. Staley has thrown to 5 different receivers, looking for another one for a first down. First down by the Bears. That's Poteet with his 3rd catch of the game and gets the first down to move the chains. Big 4th down play there, and Poteet is establishing himself with his 3rd catch as Staley's go-to guy.
Yeah, he's stepping up big time. He's one of their top receivers, and I'm not surprised they're trying to get him involved early and often in this ball game. Just a nice throw out there in the flat, pick up the first down, I'm sorry.
Poteet with his 3rd catch. Again, Staley has hit 5 different receivers, so he's spreading the ball around. 1st and 10 from the 17. Here's a look at the center, Cooper Clarkton, the junior. He'll snap the ball to Staley in the gun. Eli goes right side this time. Fires, and it's incomplete. Well covered. Trying to get that football in there to David, the tight end. Well played by the Tigers defense.
Yeah, David's listed as a tight end, 6'3", 205, but he's more like a bigger inside wide receiver in this offense. So, again, Towson is stepping up to the plate, man. I like how they're flowing to the football. They're not making it easy for Morgan State to move this ball down the field. They've worked with everything that they've gotten so far.
Staley 7 of 13, 56 yards in his first game as the quarterback of the Morgan State Bears. 2nd and 10. Snap is over Staley's head. He just has to fall on it. falls on the football back at the 32. Unfortunate there. It was just well over his head. Not even a chance. I mean, he's 6'7", but you know, he was a former basketball player, had a scholarship to play basketball and football at Mississippi State, but he doesn't have that kind of leaping ability.
6'7" and a former basketball player, couldn't get that football, so yes, that was a high snap.
So now 3rd and 29. They need to get to the 8 for the first down. Staley to throw. And incomplete. Thrown a little high. Again, the Tigers secondary playing very good coverage. Staley didn't have much room to throw that football, and it was thrown high and incomplete.
Yeah, Manasseh Bailey, the receiver, went up high to go grab it. He's 6 feet tall. And you see good pocket presence right there. Offensive line doing a great job. He's clearing himself open, but Bailey couldn't go up high enough to reach that football. You want to see Staley throw a little bit more touch. He's throwing all fastballs right now. He needs to take some of that steam off those passes for those receivers until they get used to catching these fastballs.
Looks like a 15-play drive by the Bears is going to stall out with a 4th and 29 from the 32. They're going to have to try to pooch punt this football. And a delay game penalty will come down to give them a little more room to get that pooch punt off. Again, 15 plays in the drive for Morgan State. Very impressive drive. There's Coach Ferrier, and his quarterback Staley really shared the ball. We mentioned Poteet with the 3 catches, but he's gotten 5 wide receivers involved in the drive.
Decline.
The most important number for Towson is 0. They gave up no points on that drive. So it could be a 15-play drive, it could be a 40-play drive. As long as they come away with 0, the defensive coaches on that side of the Tigers are extremely happy.
Jacobs punts it. Takes a bad Morgan State bounce, and Towson will take the football at the 20-yard line after that long drive that stalled out with no points for the Bears. So we'll see what Morgan Mahalik can do for Towson. If you're in the greater Pittsburgh area, make sure you stay at the Courtyard Cranberry for the best luxury room service, great service. Also, a wonderful business center, Pittsburgh North, Cranberry Woods. Call the number on your screen or go online to book your reservation today. Mahalik, heavy pressure, has to throw the football away to avoid the sack. And there, the big defensive line getting involved for Morgan State.
Now they're talking about it may be intentional grounding because there was no one in that area, but good job by Mahalik getting that ball away, but you have to get it back to the line of scrimmage, and there also has to be a receiver in the area.
A lot of pressure coming there by Washington from the defensive line for Morgan State, causing Mahalik to throw that football, and they're talking about it if it is intentional grounding or not.
And they have the flag down.
So let's hear from a referee, Calvin Hudson.
Intentional grounding. Offense, number 6. The ball will be placed in the spot of the foul. Loss of down, 2nd down.
Team defense, we talked about it all game long, but that was all Morgan State in the face of Mahalik. So the offensive line did a better job in pass pro.
There's Coach Ambrose, and field position has been a problem for his Tigers here in the first quarter. Field position has not been good. 2nd and 9 from the 9. Mahalik steps up and will have to run the football. Takes a pretty big hit, and it draws a penalty because of the hit to the head. He didn't slide, and then he took that hit near the helmet area, and the penalty comes out.
I don't think he got him in the helmet. I think he more hit him in the side, but
take a look here. Griffin's the one that gave him the hit. Take a look here, Emery, right there.
Yeah.
So there he kind of lowered that shoulder and kind of put that forearm towards the helmet right there. So that's going to draw a flag, I would say about 99% of the time. Here's another look.
That may be targeting too.
Yep. Well, they're going to look at that. They have that because we're here tonight for replay.
On the defense, unnecessary roughness, number 6, with targeting. That targeting is under review.
So they're going to check and see if it was blatant targeting or did he actually get him with the forearm to the helmet. So that's what they're reviewing. Otherwise, because what they're going to do is throw him out the game. and he'll be disqualified for the rest of the game. So they'll see. They're reviewing the play now and seeing if it was targeting or if he just glanced him in the shoulder.
Take another look here.
As we slow it down, he went. Yeah, it's tough to see, but you know, it's tough for the ref because he's behind the play and it's happening full speed, so it looked as if he hit him in the helmet. So I still can't make a decision on whether or not he did or not. So they're probably gonna, you know, go with the side of caution, err with the side of caution, and throw him out of the game because of it.
Great look there by Coach Ferrier. And our referee, Calvin Hudson, said number 6, but he meant number 8. And Brandon Griffin was the one that laid the hit on it for Morgan State. So he's at jeopardy if he's going to stay in the game or not, as they're taking a look at this play in replay. With 2:28 to go first quarter, no score between Morgan State and Towson from Johnny Unitas Stadium. The Battle of Greater Baltimore is back. These two schools about 5 minutes apart, 5 miles, and depends on traffic to get over here. They're excited that this rivalry is back. It stopped. The last one was in 2011. As far as the numbers in this first quarter, Emery, Morgan State 55 yards of total offense, Towson with just 21, and there's another look.
And it's unavoidable if you're a defender because you saw Mihalik duck down. So
There's no targeting by number 8. However, the personal foul, unnecessary roughness, will be enforced. 15 yards, first down.
I think you got to give the crew a lot of credit there to take a look at it on the replay, and you know, they looked at many different angles of the play and determined that, you know, was not intentional targeting, so he stays in the game, but the penalty is marked off, and Coach Ferrier is over there talking to the officiating crew on that play. But what do you think? Did they get it right there?
I think they kind of got it right. It's tough to say because I couldn't tell whether or not he did or didn't. So
that penalty gives Towson better field position. 1st and 10 from the 31. Mihalik throws out of the backfield to the very dangerous Simpson. He gets close to the first down, picks up 8 yards. Simpson, last year as a freshman, was dynamite. As far as his return game, he had a 100-yard kickoff return for a score and was one of the top return guys in all of college football as a freshman. Expecting him to get more involved in the offense.
Well, here's the thing. Last year they had a really great running back in Darius Victor, so they were able to utilize Simpson in the backfield as well as a returner. So now he's a starter. You don't want to utilize him in the return game as much.
Simpson up the middle to try to battle for the first down and comes up just short.
So I would say he's probably more of a break in the case of emergency type returner. If we need a big play, you put him back there. But other than that, you're just going to utilize him as a tailback. He's so good in confined spaces that you saw right there, making the guy miss and getting close to that first down yard
Big
line.
hit by Griffin, number 8, who's the one that had the penalty a few moments ago. Good look at Johnny Unitas Stadium. Beautiful place to come see a football game, especially to open the college football season. And the rain has stopped, which is a good thing. And temperature, of course, in the upper 50s. Battling for the first down, doesn't get it. Great job by Morgan State controlling that line of scrimmage to make sure they couldn't get the first down.
Watch big number 98, George Ramos, break through that offensive line and really disrupt that play. As a running back, you don't want to see this defensive lineman blowing through there. And good play right there by Ian McBurrow as well, the linebacker, the weak side backer, getting in there and making something happen at the line or behind the line of scrimmage.
McBurrow is the sophomore that came up to make that big play, stopping Simpson short of the first down. So 4th and 3 for Towson. They will have to punt the football away. Mack waiting for the punt. Carl Garnes, back there waiting for it. Punt is off. Garnes will get it at the 20. And his hit immediately. 4-yard pickup on the punt return. That's where Morgan State will have the football.
You can tell Carl Garnes is a strong safety. He has no fear in returning punts.
And that is the end of the first quarter. No score. The battle for Greater Baltimore. The band's enjoying themselves. Some good action on the field as well.
He was committed to Yale to play lacrosse.
And is brought to you by Chesapeake Employees Insurance, Goodies Companies, McCormick & Company, and Henderson & Webb. Second quarter from Johnny Unitas Stadium. No score. Tigers and Bears. Staley to throw it. Wants to go deep and incomplete. Looking for Bailey. Morgan State with 55 yards of total offense in the first quarter. -1 yards rushing, 56 yards passing. On the other side, Towson with just 35 yards of total offense, 28 on the ground, 7 in the air.
Both teams are having a problem right now establishing a running game. They're really not going to it. Be interesting to see if they go that route in this second quarter.
Staley 7 of 14 for 56 yards in the first quarter. 2nd and 10 from the 26. Walker has it. Not much room. Maybe gets a yard.
It's a heck of a job right there by Towson up front. We know Herb Walker Jr. is 5'6", so it's tough to see 190. It's tough to see him at the line of scrimmage, so being able to get off a block and find a short running back is tough to do, and he did a great job right there.
Herb Walker Jr. I described him as a champagne bottle, all bottled up without able to play football the last 2 years. He got hurt last year in the first game, and he's certainly itching to get going. Staley to throw on a 3rd down. The completion might be just short of the first, depends on the spot. Well thrown ball. The trig on the catch for Morgan State. There's the 6 different wide receiver to come up with a catch. So Staley's really sharing the football.
Yeah, this is when you want your receiver to know where he is on the football field. Spatial awareness is key for defensive linemen and for a receiver as far as judging where you are on the sideline. And that right there is the difference between punting the football or staying on the field with a 1st down.
Coming up a 4th and 1. And Morgan State will punt the ball back with Towson Tigers. Fair catch called for. That's where Towson will try to get their offense going. Only 35 yards of total offense in that first quarter. Tonight's game is brought to you by the Freemasons of Maryland. Want to be part of something bigger? What are you waiting for? Discover more at AskMarylandMason.com. Phil Shaner alongside the czar of the playbook, Emery Hunt. Amanda Cools down on the sidelines for you tonight. Battle for Greater Baltimore. There's 3 Division I college football programs in the state of Maryland, and 2 of them are playing tonight on the field. There's a penalty marker down after that completion by Mahalik, his 2nd completion of the game. We'll have to wait on the penalty marker. Catch was made by Joe Green, the tight end from Washington, D.C.
Looked like pass interference once again on Craven Rogers. This will be the 2nd one for him. He's getting there just a hair before the ball gets there.
Joe Green on the catch. He's a transfer from Kent State. Coach Ambrose does a nice job of getting players from other universities to transfer into Towson.
Pass interference on the defense, number 20. Spot foul, automatic, 1st down.
So Rogers called with the interference, and you see it there in the center of your screen. Holding that jersey, you can't do that.
There he got his outside arm on the inside, a little bit too quick, wrapped around. Can't come across his body like that.
Speaking of transferring, I don't know if we mentioned it, but Morgan Mahalik there, your quarterback on your screen, transferred from Oregon.
That's a big-time move to get him to come to Towson, and he's really jump-started their offense. Too bad he was injured last season, because he really would have helped transform their running game.
Timeout.
Coach Ambrose calls the timeout with 13:10 to go. Still no score. Battle of Greater Baltimore. We'll be right back. 1st and 10 for the Tigers. Mahalik to throw the football. And there's another interference. Towson fans want it. That would have been another one on Rogers. It was all over him, but didn't get the flag. Let's go downstairs to Amanda Cool. Amanda, what do you got?
Well, guys, you've talked a lot about Morgan State's Carl Garnes, and I talked to him earlier this week. This game might mean more to him than anybody else on the field. The first thing he told me was today is his mom and dad's 22nd wedding anniversary. The whole family is here at the game celebrating. He said the only thing he wants to give them for their anniversary is a win today.
Carl Garnes from Columbus, New Jersey, Camden Catholic High School. Good to have his mom and dad here celebrating an anniversary. Mahalik to throw it, has the completion. A nice play there, trying to get the extra yards for the first down. Greenwood, the 6'3" junior from Washington, D.C. with the grab. Mahalik's just his second completion of the game. Short of the first down.
Looks like another pass interference penalty, I believe.
Are you surprised that they're not trying to establish more of the run?
10-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Another holding penalty on that secondary. Again, they're having some issues with these crossers and switching guys off. These guys are either coming up on the receivers too quickly or just flat out holding the jerseys of the wide receivers. Maybe that's why they're having sticky coverage in this ball game.
5 penalties for Morgan State for 63 yards now. Towson with 2 for 15. So discipline's an issue, and take a look here on your right and watch number 5, the one coming up with the reason why the yellow flag came out. So a 1st and 10 after the penalty was marked off for the Tigers. Mahalik working from the gun. Here comes some pressure. Running for his life. He's going to tuck and run. Slides down and picks up 3.5 yards, but he was running for his life. Morgan State's defensive line is getting in the backfield, Emery.
Yeah, this has been a problem all game long, and I'm surprised to see this much leakage up front for Towson. They're known for their offensive line play and being excellent as far as keeping guys out of the backfield, both as a runner and also in the passing game. So it's unique to see this team having some issues as far as keeping the Bears out of the backfield.
2nd and 8 now for the Bears. Or excuse me, the Tigers. The Bears defense trying to come up with a big play defensively. And they do with the interception. And the man who was flagged for a couple of penalties comes back and has the big pickoff. That is Rogers.
See what happens when you turn and find the football?
You just talked about it, and that's what you need to do. Instead of committing that, the penalty, he turned and found it and got the interception.
And the pass was a little behind him, but great recognition by the defensive back, getting his hands up there and catching that football. If it was put on target, that play could have gone for a long way because he had enough separation from the defensive back. So Mahalik has to put that ball on the outside and not on the inside. That's why coaches stress placement. Placement ties into your accuracy, and things like this can happen when you have a poorly placed pass.
Morgan Mahalik last year only played those 5 games, had 2 interceptions last year, and his first of the year. Rogers with the pickoff, and now the Bears in business, trying to get the first points of this battle for Greater Baltimore. 1st and 10 from the Tigers, 44 for the Bears, and there's a whistle. Again, 5 penalties for Morgan, 2 for Towson.
Delay a game. Offense, number 1, 5-yard penalty remains, first down.
Calvin Hudson tells us that it's delay a game. Coach Ferrier can't be happy with that, but understandable. You have a new quarterback in there learning the system, and what you would think on a first down after a turnover, you wouldn't have a delay a game, and that's what Coach Ferrier is saying off the sidelines to his quarterback.
Exactly. These are the things you expect to see in a week 1 matchup. You know, NFL has preseason, college you go right in and make your mistakes on the fly.
1st and 15 after the penalty. The ball was dropped. Well thrown ball. Poteet, who has 3 catches, not throwing to him that time. It was Bailey, the sophomore from Maryland. And Bailey, as a sophomore, got excited that the ball was thrown to him and wanted to take off before he actually had it in his hand. So Bailey with the drop.
Yeah, everything was perfect there. He set up properly, had his hands in the right spot, and just dropped the football.
You got to catch it before you can run it.
Exactly. But once again, credit Towson putting that pressure on and forcing these errant passes and these mistakes.
2nd and 15 for Staley. Little screen pass. Gets the completion. There's a penalty marker down. Screen set up to Baldwin, the wide receiver, the freshman. We'll have to wait on the flag. Could it be another one against Morgan State?
Might be another holding call, this time against Bailey once again. Bailey is having a bad 2 plays. He held the defensive back on that one. He held number 12. Tried to throw a block. You love the effort, but you have to get your hands inside and not on the outside frame of the defender.
On the offense, number 13. That's a 10-yard penalty. Remains. Second down.
So that's penalty number 7 now for Morgan State. We talked about that as we thought that might be an area there where you have those type of mistakes. And that's what Coach Ferrier said when we talked to him earlier this week. You know, he was hoping that his young football team would not come out. He knew they were going to make some mistakes, but those penalties, those really hurt your offense. So now a 2nd and 25.
Look for something short here, like a slip screen to either one of the outside receivers.
2 wideouts, top of your screen, 2 to the bottom for Staley. Out of the gun. Throws in traffic, and it's intercepted. Ball is picked off. Great play. Coming up to make the interception is McDade, the junior.
Yeah, good job right there by McDade. Making a play on the football, coming up and making sure he secured the catch. And that's just a forced throw by Staley. You can't put that football in double coverage like that. I don't care what the situation is. You still had 2 other downs, but a great job by Towson answering the bell once again, this time coming away with a turnover.
Targeted Bailey, who had that earlier drop, had it in his hands for a minute. It comes into a turnover, so trading turnovers here in the second quarter. The ball is incomplete.
I'm surprised that we haven't seen any running game from either team. I think that's the biggest issue right here. I think they're probably trying to take advantage of this dry weather before it starts to rain again.
Greenwood was the intended receiver there who dropped the football. So no score. Teams trading turnovers here in the second quarter. Nice crowd on hand here at Johnny Unitas Stadium for this battle of Greater Baltimore. 2nd and 10. Hollick throws to the outside, but nowhere to go. Well covered, well played, and Morgan State's secondary playing big.
It's a good tackle right there by Rico Kennedy, the reserve strong side linebacker, coming up in the flat and making that play. That's a tough tackle to make. He was able to get his arms around the receiver and bring him down.
Leatherberry made the catch, but Leatherberry didn't go anywhere on that good hit.
He tried to cut that defensive end. It didn't work, which allowed him to get pressure on the quarterback and force a quick throw.
3rd and 10 from the 37. Mahalik working out of the gun. Ball was almost picked off at the 40-yard line, stepping right in front of that route. They were trying to get the football to Simpson, and what a play breaking on that football. That would have been a pick 6.
Yeah, Ian McBurrow had his eyes set on the pay dirt, waiting for him in the end zone on the opposite side. He was going to bring that the other way. That was a great job cutting in front of the receiver. But again, placement is important, and you may not want to have thrown that pass anyway, but the placement, again, has to be outside to where that defensive player doesn't have an opportunity to make a play.
Towson will have to punt it away. Garnes back to get it. Takes it at the 20. It's up to the 25-yard line. Right off of Interstate 80. Go to Hampton Inn at Clarion. Free breakfast in the morning.
I tell you what, man, we have both bands rocking here. Morgan State's band as well as Towson band is really stepping up to the challenge. Well, I'm liking what I'm hearing.
Well, you knew at Towson, with Morgan State's band coming, they would have to be on their game, and they've been practicing all week to make sure they were ready for the Morgan State band, and nowhere to go running the football. And Towson's defense stepping up there, and the linebacker comes in there and makes the big tackle for the loss.
That's another big play by Malik Tyne, the redshirt sophomore, 6'2", 234, just getting off his block and making a stick right there in the backfield.
Chase was the ball carrier. Tyne on the tackle. 2nd and 12. Staley with 3 wideouts, top of your screen. There's another Morgan State penalty. They're adding up here in the first half.
Start. Offense, number 32. 5-yard penalty remains. Second down.
Penalty goes on Chase, the sophomore who's in the game.
Yeah, he starts to lean a little bit early and try to save it. When I used to coach running backs, I tell them, if you're going to lean, make sure you go down to 3-point stand and try to play it off that way. But you can't try to lean and try to rock back. They're going to call you for a false start every time.
Penalties adding up for Morgan State. 9:25 to go, second quarter, no score. And Morgan State's going to take a timeout. No score between Morgan State and Towson. The battle for Greater Baltimore on the Sportsfever Television Network. We'll be right back.
Here's
A look at the good crowd tonight at Johnny Unitas Stadium, the campus of Towson University.
They've done a great job with this crowd and hosting this event. Towson has been on point since we've gotten here.
Stadium opened in 1978. Staley to throw the football. It's intercepted. This one could go to the house. Staley has to try to make the tackle, and they force him out of bounds at the 1-yard line. The second pick of the game for Towson State. Towson University, and Finner with the interception. Monty almost took that one to the house.
Monty read that one like a book. And again, I can see what Staley saw. He saw that tight end streaking down the seam, but he didn't see that safety closing in on it and made a beeline to the end zone and picking up the football in the process.
Monty Finner almost got her first points of the game on the pick from Staley, stepping in front of that receiver, and Staley had to get his body out there to try to get him out of bounds. So now you're set up first and goal from the 2 for Towson, trying to get the first points of the battle for Greater Baltimore. The pitch to Simpson. Touchdown, Tigers.
And what they tried doing that toss, they tried to outflank Morgan State, catch him off guard. They did a great job in doing so, which allowed the crease to open up right off tackle and Simpson to run right in for 6.
So Towson makes Morgan State pay for their mistake. The interception by Staley turns into a Simpson touchdown for the Tigers, and they take the lead.
See right here, as they come in motion, the old toss sweep. Morgan State overplayed it, outguessed themselves, and it created a crease for a guy like Simpson. He's going to find that hole each and every time.
Neal up for the extra point, and the extra point is good. Towson has the first points of the game. They lead at 7-0 over Morgan State after the interception. Look at that block.
Heck of a job, man. Great effort.
Monty Finner helps the Tigers get on the board. We'll be right back. So the 2-yard touchdown run by the sophomore Simpson has the Towson Tigers up. The dance team's liking what they're seeing. Up 7-0 after the interception. Towson band enjoying themselves tonight. Both bands are right next to each other, so as you mentioned before, having a little bit of the battle of the bands.
They're up for the challenge, man. I tell you that. I like it.
There's a short kick trying to catch Morgan State off guard, but they were able to recover it at the 48-yard line. That's where they'll take over on offense. And take a look how the Tigers got things going. Staley has thrown 2 interceptions in this game, and that big interception there to Monte Finner almost took it to the house. And then Simpson's 2-yard touchdown run, a 1-play drive for 2 yards, took 3 seconds off the clock, making Morgan State pay for their mistake, and that's how they lead it to 7-0. Coach Ferrier's team over there, he knows that those type of mistakes really haunted them last year. 1st and 10 for the Bears, trying to put those 2 interceptions behind. Staley's trying to get his team going again. The completion there to Poteet.
And
Poteet's 4th catch.
This is why you want to see them get that ground game going. We haven't seen a lot of Herb Walker Jr. getting the football. When they've tried to run the football, they've gotten stopped, but you have to keep with it. So when you try to run plays like this, you have a better chance of success. We've seen the vertical passing game have some success, but you have to wonder now with that interception that ended up being points for Towson, will they scale back on that and try to go short?
Poteet's fourth catch was good just for 1 yard, 2nd and 9 now. Staley to hand it off, and Harrell. Eric Harrell, the senior from Orlando, Florida, gets a couple of yards.
Nice outside zone right there, and it just kind of opened up like the Red Sea, they like to say, right? He was able to find daylight on the inside.
Poteet in motion. Staley to throw it. Dropped right in the hands of David. David just couldn't hang on to it. He has to make that catch.
Yeah, that ball hit him right between the 8 and the 9. Good read, good throw. Again, the execution offensively hasn't been there on a consistent basis for Morgan State, especially in the passing game. The receivers have to run better routes. They have to come up with these tight catches in these situations. But when you look at a defense like Towson, they're doing what they can to get off the field, and it worked once again. And now they put their offense back on. We'll see if it can translate into some big plays from the Tigers.
8 of 20 for Staley with 2 interceptions in the first half. The punt and the fair catch, and that's where Towson will have it. You know, there's only 3 Division I football programs in the entire state of Maryland. As we mentioned before, 2 of them playing here tonight. And the other one with a pretty big win today. Maryland beat number 21 Texas 51-41, and that's who Towson has next week. And it'll be only the second time that Towson has played Maryland. Speaking of next week, our Sportsfever Television Network game of the week next week, Division II football out of Pennsylvania in the PSAC.
It's going to be a good game.
Team from the East. Westchester picked to win the East against Slippery Rock next week. There's the handoff to Simpson, who has our only touchdown of the night. He gets just a short gain. 2nd down coming up for the Tigers.
It's another big stop right there by the weak side linebacker, Ian McBurrow. Getting down and dirty in a running game. You don't usually see a weak side linebacker be this involved at the point of attack. Right there, a little gap exchange going right through the thighs of the running back and bringing him down.
Actually marked him a loss of a yard, so a 2nd and 11. Simpson lost a yard in that last play. Simpson again trying to go fight his way through, and not much there. Morgan State is doing a great job controlling that line of scrimmage. Ramis, 6'3", 265-pounder, big 98. One of the guys there to make sure that Simpson doesn't go much further. No gain.
Yeah, Towson has had problems moving these guys off the ball and also keeping them out of the backfield. So not only are they maintaining the line of scrimmage, but they're also getting pressure and resetting the line of scrimmage. So they've played a lot of football on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage in this ball game so far.
Not a lot of offense. Only 22 yards on the ground for Towson. 3rd and 11 passing down from Hollick. Screen pass to Simpson, and well short of the first down. They're going to have to punt it back to Morgan State.
It's a quick 3 and out right there by Towson. I mean, again, defensively doing a great job and rallying to the football. Once again, McBurrows, and great job by Morgan State's defensive line, just falling back and making it stop.
So Towson will have to punt it away. See what Morgan State could do, and they have not been able to run the football. Not many opportunities to run it. Ball's out of bounds, and Morgan State with -3 yards rushing.
And this punt went off the side of the foot. Went off the side of the foot, and now sets Morgan State up in good field position. He had to go up high and get that punt, so great save.
Yeah, Pat Toomey. That's Pat Toomey, the punter, who they had a pretty good punter here last year and the last couple of years, one of the top punters in the CAA, and he graduated. So Pat Toomey's the guy that's stepped up for Towson to step in and punt the football. And he did have to go up. That would have been a big break for Morgan State if it would have went over his head. 1st and 10 for Morgan State after 2 interceptions in this second and first half for Staley, trying to get things going. Herb Walker, the reverse. Coming back the other way is Bailey. Not a bad first down play. Let's go downstairs to Amanda Kuhl, who has more for us on the sidelines. Amanda.
Thanks, Phil. Well, Coach Ambrose's dad, Tim Ambrose, is actually right down here on the sideline. Right before kickoff, he and his dad gave each other a big hug. His dad is actually a legendary high school football coach here in Maryland. But he told me he retired 4 years ago, and now he travels with Towson to all of their games. He hasn't missed a game. When I asked him what his advice was for his son before today's game, he said that Towson has to limit the turnovers.
2nd and 4. Thank you, Amanda. Trying to get a first down and move the sticks, Herb Walker Jr. Yeah, Rob's dad, great, legendary coach, as you mentioned, Amanda, in the state of Maryland. And, just not Rob, it's a family affair. His brother Jared is also on the staff as the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. So Jared and Rob Ambrose, and they're glad to have their dad here following them around to follow his 2 sons here at Towson. Got the first down. Morgan State, and the completion by Staley. Throwing the football, complete to Walker. Gain of 4 yards there on the first down play.
Nice timing right there. You see Herb Walker, he's short but not small. He's 190. He lowered that shoulder and knocked that defensive back a couple of yards to pick up 4 yards on that play.
5'6". What do you stand at, partner? Herb's at 5'6".
I'm 5'9.5". Give me that half.
I'll give you the half. There's Herb Walker. Going to the right side, nowhere to go. Loses 4 yards. So picked up 4 with the catch, gives it right back with that sweep to the right side.
And that's just a great defensive play. You want to string out the outside run, do a great job in setting the edge, and stringing out the run. So again, defense is about alignment, assignment, and execution, and all 3 were right there in play for Towson.
And Pay was the one to make the stop. 3rd and 10. 3:40 to go. Towson had the interception, turned it into points. The Simpson 2-yard run, and Towson Tigers with a 7-0 lead. Another interception, the 3rd of the game. The interception there by Clue, the junior. 3 interceptions thrown by Staley.
And that one right there was just a bad throw. We talk about placement all the time. That one was too far inside, made it easy for the defensive back. He ran a better route than the receiver. So you want to see Staley put that ball on the outside. He has the arm to drive it there. It looked like he sort of second-guessed his decision and pulled the string on a little bit, which forced it to go back inside.
Clue with the interception. He was looking for White on the pass. Sack by Morgan State. The defense comes up and puts Mahalik on the turf.
They've been getting pressure all game long. That was Malachi Washington coming around that edge, 6'2", 230, a junior, beating the back, beating the fullback, matter of fact, getting around the corner, getting Mahalik and put him on the ground.
Washington from Maryland. A lot of Maryland players on both Morgan State and Towson. They do a good job of recruiting the state of Maryland. After that sack, 2nd and 18. Mahalik looking for more time this time. The completion. Not much of a completion, but completion no less to Greenwood. Junior wide receiver, 6'3". One of the guys they're looking to step up with all those wide receivers that graduated last year for the Tigers.
Morgan State has played great defense in this ball game. So has Towson. So both offenses are are finding it very tough to move the ball down the field on a consistent basis.
3rd down. Time to throw this time. The ball is almost intercepted, thrown to midfield and low. Good defense by Morgan State secondary, and Towson will have to punt it away to the Bears. Take a look at Towson getting it done on the defensive side. Staley, there's his first interception that he threw. Here comes number 2 that turned into points. That almost went back to the house. Here was the one that almost turned into points.
And all 3 were really bad decisions by Staley. You can't put the ball in harm's way, and also you have to be more accurate when you're throwing outside the numbers.
So those 3 interceptions have certainly hurt Morgan State's chances here. That's why they have no points on the scoreboard. Punt is off and takes a good Tiger bounce.
Punter had to go up high once again and grab that ball.
Tigers will have it from the 25. Take a look at the high snap, and then with that high snap to Toomey, they almost come in and able to block that punt. Special teams could be a factor if that continues with those high snaps. Something they're going to have to talk about and correct at halftime.
Especially as the weather sort of deteriorates, supposedly, as we move on. Hopefully it stays the way it is now and doesn't become a factor.
Yeah, right now it's pretty much just a mist. It was pouring earlier. 2 minutes to go before the half. We'll see what the Bears can do. Staley in his first start, Morgan State, the transfer from Mississippi State, and he's going down to the turf. Big sack by the Tigers, coming in and causing all kinds of trouble. Defense coming up, making the big play. Anderson, the redshirt senior, with the sack. Good job by Anderson coming up and making that sack. Just getting right past that offensive lineman, Emery, and getting him to the backside.
Yeah, Kanai Anderson does a great job in beating the block and just accelerating to the quarterback. Now, Staley's not going to outrun you, but great job nonetheless to make sure he doesn't get that ball away.
Lost 7 yards in the sack, 2nd and 17. The completion, trying to get that first down. And getting the completion to David. He's been targeted a bunch, the senior.
Again, they list him as a tight end, but you've seen him work the slot. You've seen him line up outside. You saw him all across his formation. They like moving him around and finding ways to get him the football.
Gets back to almost the original line of scrimmage. They need 11 for the first down. Incomplete. Over the middle, and the ball dropped by Harrell. Harrell out of the backfield drops the football on a 4th down. Another punt. Punting situation for the Bears. The offense has sputtered.
Yeah, credit Towson for making adjustments and making things harder on Morgan State to move the ball. They had some success early in the first quarter with their passing game, and that is now null and void. Towson has done a great job in taking that away.
Jacobs punts it away. Fair catch called for. Let's see what the Tigers can do with the final 1:11 before the half.
In this situation, you don't want to rush anything. Take what the defense gives you, push the pace a little bit, but you don't want to create a turnover to where it can go the other way, or it puts Morgan State in great situation.
We highlighted those 3 interceptions that has hurt Morgan State by Staley, but this is really the first time he's played a whole lot. Last year, he played at a community college in Texas, but didn't play a lot there, only a little bit of action, and then just a little bit his freshman year at Mississippi State. So as far as college football is concerned, he doesn't have a lot of experience. 1st and 10 for the Tigers from Mahalik. Time to throw the football. Has the completion at midfield, and that's Simpson. Simpson gets close to the first down, pickup of 9 yards. Hurry up offense now for the Tigers, working on that clock.
A good lead block right there by the referee.
It's always nice when the Zebras can lead the way on a block.
He was light on his feet, though. I like the lateral movement.
If he's there, use him. 2nd and 1 coming up for the Tigers. Up 7-0. Simpson with our only touchdown of the night. That short 2-yard touchdown run after the interception. It's Calvin Hudson, our referee tonight.
Please reset the game clock to 1 minute. 1 minute on the game clock. 103. 103.
So 1:03 to go before the half. Towson in Morgan State territory on the 46-yard line. The completion and the first down for the Tigers. Nifty play there. The completion by Epps.
It's a really good job by Mahalik beating the blitz. That's the first time we've really seen Morgan State bring pressure on the inside. He stood tall in the pocket and delivered a strike to an open receiver.
Epps converted quarterback to receiver. An athletic kid. That pass over Epps' head and incomplete.
They brought the blitz once again this time, and they forced an errant throw.
Take a look at it again here. If he would have just let him, that would have been a touchdown. Had to come back for it, and there's a good look at Mahalik.
Well, that's what pressure is designed to do. It's designed to make you throw an inaccurate pass, and it did its job right there on that particular play.
Second down for the Tigers. Final minute of the second quarter. The completion to Simpson, but nowhere to go. Good defense by Morgan State. I'm impressed with their open field tackling by the Bears.
And Ian McBurrow has done a great job all game long on both ends of defense.
Final 30 seconds of the first half. The Tigers looking to add to their lead. What a catch near the first down marker. He'll just be short. What a grab. He took the hit, but came up with the big catch. Leatherberry holds on to it, the 5'10 redshirt sophomore from Salisbury, Maryland. We'll take a timeout. Just 10 seconds to go before the half. Towson with a 7-0 lead over Morgan State.
Prior to the snap, timeout.
He was committed to Yale to play lacrosse, and I was committed to
It's on the board. That double number partner got me tripped up. Towson has the double numbers working at number 11, Brent Richardson. Also 11 on the offensive side, who obviously is not going to get in. Quarterback on the backup side, Jason Epps. But that was Brent Richardson the last couple of attempts, the reception and the incompletion there on the Tigers in the last offensive series.
Two places where Towson has been strong historically under Ambrose, the offensive and defensive line, and also special teams.
10-0, Tigers with the lead. Battle for Greater Baltimore. Glad you're with us tonight. Let's see what the Bears can do. Not much running room there. Trying to get the return was White. So we'll see what they do here with the final 4 seconds. I imagine they'll just take a knee. Go to the locker room and try to get things going here in the second half. Last year, second halves were not very good for Morgan State. Only scored 13 points in the third quarter the entire year last year. The second halves were nightmares for Coach Ferrier's Bears team. Going to hope to change that here in 2017. Pistol formation for Staley and the Bears. We'll give it to Walker. The final play of our first half. One half of football is in the books at Johnny Unitas Stadium. Battle of Greater Baltimore. Towson with a 10-0 lead over Morgan State. The rivalry is back. First time they've played since 2011.
Yeah, if you're Towson in this game, you played great defensively. You played some good special teams. Offensively, you want to see them start to make things happen in the passing game. And for Morgan State, is simply put, they have to eliminate the turnovers.
That is for sure. That's the case for Morgan State. They knew that coming in. The turnovers are something they don't want any part of. And let's go down the field to Amanda Kuhl. Amanda?
Coach, I know it's only week one, but quite a few mental mistakes and penalties. How do you limit that in the second half?
Yeah, we definitely got to address it at halftime. You know, to come out and make 3 turnovers, interceptions is just not acceptable. Way too many penalties. There's 10 penalties on us. We've been called for pass interference like 4 times. So we got to get that corrected at halftime. You know, to be in a game still where we're only down 10 points after we played about as bad as we could and didn't really get anything going on offense, we got to regroup at halftime and come out and play better. We got to run the football, stop turning the ball over.
Coach, what big adjustments can we expect to see?
We got to get better on defense. We got to get better on defense and not turn the ball over. We got to run the ball offensively and try not to make so many mistakes that are killing ourselves.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Phil?
Veteran move there by Coach Ferrier to be able to move through the band. And he nailed it. Penalties cost them, and also those turnovers. So we are at the half. Towson with a 10-0 lead over State. We'll be back with our halftime show coming up next. It's the Battle for Greater Baltimore on the Sportsfever Television Network. Turnovers, but Towson was the interception there, 1 of 3 in the first half. This one was very costly. The pickoff by Monty Freener that ended up for the first touchdown of the game. The short two-yard touchdown run by Sean Simpson. The Tigers were up 7-0. And then O'Neal with the 42-yard field goal makes it 10-0, and that's where we are at the half. Let's take a look at the first half stats. Passing yards goes to the Bears. Rushing yards, not a lot of them. 14 for the Tigers, just 9 for the Bears. Total yards, 86 for Morgan State, 55 for the Tigers. It's 10-0.
And the turnovers are the biggest story of this ball game. Both teams, I thought, were going to come in and try to establish a ground game. Neither has been able to do that. It's been the aerial attack, but we want to see in the second half if Towson's offensive line can step up and help protect Mihalik back there in the pocket. And we're going to also see if Morgan State can get their ground game going with Herb Walker Jr.
9 penalties for Morgan State, those 3 interceptions, and they weren't very good on third downs either. 2 of 9 on third downs. Towson was 1 of 7 on third down, so there wasn't a lot of long drives in that first half. We'll see what the second half brings us, the battle for Greater Baltimore.
And I'm not big on hyperbole, but this is a key drive for Morgan State to open up the half.
Tigers hold a 17-6 advantage in the all-time series in this rivalry. We're underway in the second half. Morgan State, see what they can do here in the second half to see if they can get things going on the return was Bailey.
The biggest thing I'm going to look for in the second half, especially from Elijah Staley, is what can he do to overcome those mistakes that he made in the first half. He's going to have short memory. He's going to have to continue to be aggressive mindset as far as going downfield, and therefore will open up things for Herb Walker in the running game.
Penalty marker down, discussion by the officials, talking it over with Calvin Hudson. Take a look at it again here on the replay.
Looked as if it could have been a face mask. Just got his fingers inside that face mask of the returner, so we'll see if that's the call.
Yeah. Okay. Still. What you got?
Wait for our official.
There's no foul on the play. First down.
They're taking that penalty away, so no penalty. After 11 penalties in the first half.
You know what? It looked as if he had his hand inside the face mask, but no harm, no foul. Let's play ball.
I think you said it best, Emery. Staley's got to have short memory after those 3 interceptions in the first half. Let's see if the second half Bears can get their offense clicking. Go straight up the middle. Not much there. Herb Walker Jr. Looked like that play might be setting up a play down the road. Just a short 1-yard gain, second down coming up.
And Towson sort of expected that to be the play call coming out of the half. They want to try to get the ground game going. They want to try to ease Elijah Staley back into this ball game mentally. And the best way to do that is by running the football with your outstanding tailback.
Cut back to the line of scrimmage, so 2nd and 10. Staley to throw, the completion on the first down. Herb Walker Jr. picks up 14 yards and a first down to move the sticks.
And this is why a lot of people at Morgan State are excited about Elijah Staley. He threw this football off his back foot, and they really got across the field to Herb Walker Jr. accurately, so that way he can catch the football and continue to run and pick up the first down.
So first down for the Bears, up now to the 43. Morgan State floundered after halftime last year in 11 games. They mustered only 17 points in the third quarter and 31 in the fourth quarter, and that's something that Coach Ferrier talked to us about and wanted to change. Walker, there's the bang inside for a yard. Battle of the line of scrimmage is something that we were watching earlier, and I believe it was in the first quarter. Emery, you said you thought that Morgan State was getting a pretty good push, but I don't know if the Tigers made some adjustments at the half, but that's where the battle is on the front line.
Gotta like what you see from DeAndre Wallace all game long. He's been a force against the run.
2nd and 9. Harrell trying to bounce across midfield. Nice run. Picks up 8 yards, will be short of the first down. But that's the 1-2 punch that they have there with Herb Walker and Eric Harrell, who was the main running back last year. Pretty tough run by number 4.
And Towson played that perfectly. It was just a better play by Harrell. And you see right there spinning off the defender and picking up positive yards.
Big 3rd and 2 for the Bears. Harrell has the first down. 4-yard pickup and moves the chains. Another first down for Morgan State.
And if you're Towson in this particular part of the game, you're going to ask your defensive line to turn it up a notch and get off blocks and try to reset that line of scrimmage. We saw Morgan State do that defensively. Towson needs to do that now so their linebackers can have free reign to the football.
Morgan State trying to get things going in the Towson territory. And the completion down the sidelines, another first down. And the stiff arm getting him out of bounds. David, he's been big. I think him and Poteet have been the 2 top targets, but look at the second effort here, fighting to make the catch, and then that straight arm.
The degree of difficulty on that catch is outstanding because the defensive back played that perfectly. That nearly was another interception, but great job focusing on the football by the receiver, picking up the extra yardage and getting down inside the 25-yard line.
Deshaun David, 23 yards on that pass play and a first down. On the 23, little screen. Doesn't go too far to Poteet. For Poteet's 4th catch of the game on the inside screen.
That was a nice play call. You saw Herb Walker Jr. go out into the flat as if it was a swing screen, and they influenced the defense that way. We wanted to bring Poteet back across the grain, but great job by Towson to recognize that and make the stop at the line of scrimmage.
Deshaun David and Poteet have been the 2 top targets for big number 1, 6'7". He stands, trying to get his Bears on the board. And that'll be penalty number 10 of the night for Morgan State.
False start. Offense, number 63. 5-yard penalty remains. 2nd down.
10 penalties now on the Bears.
Still that misty rain, light rain that's going on. I would rather it be a downpour as opposed to being this light misty rain, because that's when things get slippery.
Wet ball for sure. Walker going nowhere. Tigers defense stacks him up.
We got a lot of athleticism right here on Sportsfever television.
Yep, Patrick Blaine makes sure he stays out of trouble. Stayed on his feet. He had Deshaun David coming at him.
Barely moved, too.
Yeah, kept that camera steady.
Outstanding balance.
Good work there by Patrick Blaine on the far side. 3rd and 15 for the Bears. Staley, incomplete. Threw it over the head, and Morgan State's looking for a penalty. They want pass interference. The intended target was Trigg.
The pass was ruled uncatchable.
Yeah, they would have had a case if the ball was a little bit lower, but since it was sky high over the receiver's head, they ruled it uncatchable, and now they're going to be forced to punt.
Well, Morgan State had things going, but then they have the penalty, sets them back, and then they stall out. That's been the story of the night for Morgan State. Those penalties and those turnovers have cost them.
But they're going to tip the field goal here.
Well, you talked about their new kicker, Luke Arnosol, the sophomore. This is a kid that they thought could kick it, but they also have Reyes too, and the kick is no good. Kicking was an issue last year for Morgan State.
And Rhea missed that one.
It was a battle between Rhea. We weren't sure who was going to get the kicking call, and Rhea comes in. He was the kicker from last year, and kicking was an issue for the Bears. There's a little bump after that kick. Missed by Rhea, who, again, that's an area they wanted to get better, was their kicking game.
I mean, again, we saw this in the first quarter. Long drive by Morgan State that stalls on the plus side of the 30.
Tigers will take over. Mahalik incomplete. Threw it a little low. Ball was on the turf.
And that's a pass you want to see Mahalik complete. That's a gimme throw for the QB. He has to complete that quick screen because they had room to run if he was able to complete that ball.
So second down coming up. The Tigers with a 10-0 lead, just starting the second half. Battle for Greater Baltimore. Maryland with a big win today over Texas, and the other two Division I programs playing here tonight for bragging rights. Mahalik. Ball's batted in the air and intercepted. Another interception coming up and make the play for the Bears. Barrow, the linebacker, who's played big tonight for a sophomore. Ian comes up and makes the interception.
That's an outstanding job by the linebacker. They try to run that old whip route, and he was able to plant his foot in the ground, get back into the play, tip it up to himself, and pick it off. So, again, we've seen McBarrow do a great job on the inside run, on the outside pass, and now picking off the ball and putting his offense in great position for a score.
So 3 interceptions on both sides. 3 for Mahalik, 3 for Staley.
It's going to be a lot of coaching tape this week. For the Tigers and Bears, boy.
But now you got to try to take advantage of this. Towson was able to take advantage of it with the interception and getting the first touchdown and only touchdown of the game. Now let's see if the Bears can put some points on the board after the turnover. Walker, first down. Very close to it. Picks up about 9 yards in that run. He has the speed, doesn't he? Hits that hole pretty hard and gets to the outside. Take a look at it again.
The reason why it's so tough to tackle guys that are this short or this low to the ground is because you can't really judge their change of direction. It don't take much for them to make a subtle move left or right and throw you off completely.
9 yards on that run. 2nd and 1 coming now. Give it back to Walker, and he loses 3 yards. Tigers pursuit. Were able to track him down from behind.
And they try to run the same play once again. It worked for him on first down, but here's the thing. Trying to go east and west on a consistent basis against a very athletic defense won't lead you to a lot of success on the ground. It hasn't tonight overall for Morgan State. They have to get more downhill and impose their will up front with that offensive line.
Sophomore Robert Hayward on the tackle for the Tigers. Staley will keep it up the middle, trying to fight his way for the first down. It'll depend on the spot.
Looks to be a hair short. Decision time now for Coach Ferrier.
Yeah, they tried a field goal, and that wasn't successful. So we'll see what they do here with a 4th down coming. There's a second look at it. 4th down. The Tigers defense looking for some support from their home crowd here at Johnny Unitas Stadium.
Bringing in the pinch runner at quarterback.
And we saw him earlier. Bring in Harris, number 6. Harris is the guy that's going to try to fight for that yard, and not going to happen. The Tigers come up with a big stop and stop Harris, who comes in unable to get the first down. The Tigers take over on downs.
Love the aggressiveness of the play call, but at the end of the day, you want to do what's best for your football team. You want to keep it simple. You have guys that hadn't been playing a lot in this ball game. You bring in the extra fullback. Also, you bring in the pinch runner at quarterback. Why not line up double tight and just try to win up front with your regular starting quarterback and Herb Walker Jr. pick up that 1 yard?
They blew up that play. Finner and Wallace are the ones that broke it up. Stover's in now quarterbacking. Fires one down the sideline and complete. So Stover in to replace Mahalik and comes out with his first pass of the game. The completion to Greenwood for a first down for the Tigers. So Coach Ambrose going to the backup quarterback and Ryan Stover.
And that's a good job right there, too. Finding a one-on-one matchup and putting it in a place where the receiver can make the play.
Ryan Stover from Upper Dublin High School out of Pennsylvania, redshirt freshman. Pass is incomplete. Let's go downstairs to Amanda Kuhl. Amanda?
Well, guys, Ryan Stover is now in, and I had the opportunity to talk to him this week. I talked to him about last year being named the Scout Team Player of the Year. He said that playing Scout Team last year really helped him prepare for college ball and the speed of the game. He said there's nothing like going up against the Towson defense. He said he feels ready to take his spot, and now you'll see him in his first collegiate game.
Stover 1 out of 2 so far in his first college game after being on that Scout team last year. Gets his second completion out of the backfield. Simpson. He's going to be short of the first down. So they make the move. 3 interceptions, and Mahalik is out. Coach Ambrose goes with his backup quarterback. Your thoughts there, Emery?
And Amanda brought up a great point as far as the kid utilizing the scout team to his advantage. And that's one thing a lot of incoming freshmen don't understand.
Offsides on the defense. 5-yard penalties decline. Results of the play, first down.
Is that when you're
Was it a
when you're a redshirt freshman, when you're redshirting and you utilize those reps on the field as your opportunity to get ready, because a lot of times high school kids are not ready to play physically the college game. So as a scout team member, use those valuable reps, get stronger in the weight room, help acclimate yourself to the system. So therefore, when you're a redshirt freshman or a redshirt sophomore, wherever the case may be, you can hit the ground running. And he did a great job of that.
Coach Ambrose talking to the officials. Might want to rethink about taking that penalty there. He thought that they had enough for the first down, but he was short. There's Coach Ambrose on the sideline. I'm sure he'll have some funny things to say about that play.
The previous play of a first down is under review.
So we got a review. They're going to check out it to see if, I guess they're reviewing the spot to see if it was a first down. They marked it short. Or second down and 1. They're going to take a look at it on replay and see if he indeed had the first down or not. So a change at quarterback after 3 interceptions by Morgan Mahalik, the Tigers quarterback, and Ryan Stover getting his opportunity. And Amanda Kuhl mentioned that she talked to him and said how much the scout team benefited him, and you made that point as well, Emery. And here's a look at it and see if he got the first down or not. Simpson running, and
I don't think he picked up the first, and I was surprised that they didn't accept the penalty, because you lose that down.
Barnes makes the tackle. We'll have to see where it is.
After review, the ball will be placed at the 37-yard line. It will be 2nd and 5.
So they were way off on the where they had the ball spotted. I don't know exactly what the confusion was there, but they got it all worked out now. They're going to mark off the penalty. There's Coach Ferrier, hoping that his team has a better second half. Clean up those mistakes with the penalties and the turnovers, as he mentioned before going into the locker room when we spoke with him at the half. Stover lofts this one to the sidelines, and the receiver falls down as intended target. He was looking for some kind of penalty, but no contact there in the incompletion. Trying to get the ball to Dorsey, the freshman from Frederick, Maryland.
Well, they're picking on the right guy. They're going to Cravon Rogers' side. We saw him get called for a lot of penalties, holding, pass interference, but he did pick off a pass, to his credit, put him in great situations. So they're picking on the right defender, but this time the ball was well overthrown. The receiver fell out.
We had a couple of penalties in that first half by Rogers, and he did make up for that with that interception he had. 1 of 3 by the Bears defense. 3rd and 5 for the Tigers. Freshman Stover, quarterback now. Here comes the pressure, and he's going to run the football. Has the first down, nearly gets to midfield. He's down at the 49-yard line.
I like the pocket presence there. He didn't force anything. He stepped up in the pocket. You saw him weave his way through, find an opening, then pick up the first down, protect the football. That's just a great job of quarterbacking right there, and that's probably why he's in the game. He's not putting the ball at risk. Great coverage by Morgan State. You have the athleticism to pick up the first, and he did just that.
1st and 10 from the 49 for the Tigers. Stover to throw, incomplete. Just in and out of the hands of Greenwood. Greenwood had his fingertips on it, but couldn't come down with it.
He had a step on the defender as well, was able to stack that DB just a little bit outside, but again, you expect that to happen with a guy coming in cold and not necessarily working with these receivers on a consistent basis all week long.
Second down coming up now for the freshman quarterback. Tigers 10-0 lead. I guess a typical week one game with a lot of penalties and turnovers. You see that in week one games in any level of football. Play action. The completion, but it had to work so hard to make that catch. There was really no job afterwards for Jordan Waite, the fullback, who made the catch, but had to work so hard at making the catch, fell down.
Yeah, that's why you normally don't throw the ball to fullbacks. He had a lot of room to run as well. He was wide open.
Third and 7 for Stover. Completion and a first down. What a great throw and a great catch. What presence in the backfield.
That's a heck of a throw, man. That's probably the best throw of the night for Towson. Back shoulder throw, hits the receiver right where he can catch it, and the defensive back didn't even bother to turn around. Just a great job by Ryan Stover. I've been impressed with just a little bit amount of playing time he's gotten tonight. He's pushing on the field.
Baltimore kid Morgan Strogans, the sophomore, with the catch. We have some younger players on the field making plays now for Coach Ambrose. Injured player on the field for Morgan State. Carl's down with a cramp. Heard Amanda say that his parents are here celebrating their wedding anniversary here tonight. Coach Ambrose really likes this team. A lot of young talent. If you would like to get a DVD copy of this Battle for Greater Baltimore, the rivalry renewed, first time since 2011, you can order your DVD of this game. Email sportsfever at pasportsfever@pa.net. Get a DVD copy of the Battle for Greater Baltimore. Stover with a 1st and 10. And the Bears 25. Platt, another freshman, getting involved. So Coach Ambrose rewarding some of these younger guys, giving them some playing time here in the second half.
He's not getting production out of the upperclassmen, so he's putting the younger guys in there, moving the football down the field. But great job by Morgan State, setting the edge and stringing out that outside run.
Definitely sending a message to his guys. Stover out of the shotgun with a 2nd and 9. Plenty of time to throw. Now here comes the pressure and a sack from the defensive end of the Morgan State Bears. A big sack by the Bears.
May get a holding call right there on the offensive line. Surprised they didn't call it 2 plays ago. Coming off the edge. They're having some issues at the tackle position right now for Towson.
Penalty marker down, and you're probably right, Emery, holding there.
Holding. Offense, number 67. That penalty's declined. 3rd down.
It's the left guard, Nico Russillo. See right there, the left guard. They just grabbed the chest plate of Jai Franklin. I know that's a tough guy to block, but you got to keep your hands inside.
Franklin and Washington came up to make that sack for the Bears, so that pushes the Tigers back. 3rd and 20. Going deep. Miscommunication with his wide receiver. Threw it to the outside, and the wide receiver went to the inside.
Wide receiver ran the post, quarterback threw the corner route. Good thing it wasn't in play and ended up going out of bounds.
Morgan Strogans from Baltimore, the sophomore. Pretty deep wide receiver core for Coach Ambrose. a matter of finding who wants to step up and be a playmaker.
I like that approach. Find the guy that wants it.
Toomey will punt, standing at midfield. Little pooch punt. Takes a bounce inside the 5-yard line. It works out pretty well. That's where Morgan State will have the football, and we come back. 4:08 to go in the third. The Tigers with a 10-0 lead over the Bears.
The Good Company is one of
timeout.
the largest privately held waste recycling.
Is your coffee spiked in the morning? Spiked with genius juice. I'm gonna walk off the show right now.
This is unbelievable.
Zip it! Zip it! Quiet!
First Take is on the move. Next stop, Dallas. Live for Giants Cowboys.
This crowd is so fired up.
Maybe I am a Dallas Cowboy fan because they make me laugh.
Eli Manning over every quarterback who ever lived.
First Take, live from Dallas. September 8th at 10 Eastern on ESPN.
Monday Night Football is back. Saints Vikings at 6:55. Chargers Broncos at 10:15. September 11th on ESPN.
Cannot lose with Terrigal and the Brave on our side!
Apologies, my liege.
Stadium. There's a whole lot of rain this afternoon. Now more than just a mist. Raining pretty good. 1st and 10 for the 4 for Morgan State. Corral, nowhere to go. Might have lost a yard.
And now that they know you're going to be running the football in this situation, they're going to be a lot more aggressive up front as you see them shooting the gap. A nice little run blitz called where they're coming off the edge and stop the ball carrier right there in the backfield. So they're going to put the onus on Elijah Staley to make a play in the passing game to back up this defense. Otherwise, they're going to keep coming with that downward pressure.
Corral 5 carries, 18 yards. Walker 10 carries, 18 yards. And the rain is affecting this one. Pass from Staley. And the penalty marker is down. Staley tried to hook up with Trigg, Dominic Trigg, redshirt sophomore from Tampa, Florida. We'll have to wait on the penalty marker.
Holding. Defense number 2. That's a 10-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
It's a great way to get out of the shadow of your own end zone.
Only the 3rd penalty of the night for Towson.
Good job by the receiver coming back for the football, and the reason why Staley put it up there like that because he saw the defensive back not looking back toward him running with his receiver. But this gives them a little bit more room to go back to their regular offense, but they still should try to get that ground game going. You're only down 10 points.
1st and 10. Fumbles the snap. Ball's on the turf. He was able to fall on it. That would have been very unfortunate, especially where they're at in the football field if he wouldn't have come down with that.
Now we're starting to see the rain maybe affect the snap of the football. He rocketed that snap.
Yeah, that was a rocket ball, boy.
Back to the quarterback.
That snap came out in a hurry. And then it's a wet football, and you weren't expecting, I don't think Staley was expecting a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Staley throws the middle screen, gets the completion, but not a whole lot of yards. The completion made in the catch there by Poteet. That's his 5th catch of the game.
They try to run that middle screen or that slip screen.
Hasn't really worked for them
at all. This is like the 4th time they try to run that. But great job by Towson with their scouting, understanding what's going on, and really just reading the keys to the offensive lineman and getting back into the play and making a stop.
Poteet with 5 catches for 45 yards. 2:20 to go, 3rd quarter. 3rd down, 12. Staley being chased, and that was close to being his 4th pick of the game. That was dangerous. Trying to get the football to Poteet, but there was 2 black jerseys there.
It's an inconsistent series right there for Morgan State. You had the 1st down via the penalty, but just the fumble, snap, ineffective passing, and a bad ball right there is going to give Towson good field position.
Morgan State will have to punt it from their own end zone. Down 10-0, 2:11 to go, third quarter. Gets the punt off cleanly. Fair catch called for, and that's where the Tigers will take over offensively. Don't forget, this game is being brought to you by the Freemasons of Maryland. Want to be part of something bigger? What are you waiting for? Discover more at askmarylandmason.com. And we thank the folks at Freemason of Maryland for sponsoring tonight's game. Next week, Division II football out of Pennsylvania. Westchester had a big win Thursday night over Bentley. We'll be at Slippery Rock next week on the Sportsfever Television Network. Next week at 6 o'clock. East meets West in the PSAC in Pennsylvania Division II college football. Trying to throw it to the back shoulder and incomplete, and there's a penalty marker down. There was a lot of coverage there. Trying to get the ball to Greenwood. And maybe another pass interference on the Bears. There you see it, trying to go back shoulder.
Pass interference. Defense number 2. Spot foul. Automatic first down.
It's interesting because you have the back judge threw the flag, but the referee, that's right there following the play, didn't throw the flag. I always wonder how that works when one guy is closer and doesn't see it, and a guy on the opposite end of the field. Maybe he has a better angle and saw him grab the jersey of the Towson receiver.
Barnes committed the penalty. Give up to middle. Surprised the amount of times that Towson has thrown the football. They're traditionally the physical, win the line of scrimmage, pound the football with the run. But boy, they've been throwing a little bit. Stover's 3 for 7. Mahalik was 8 of 19. I expected a lot more of establishing that run with Simpson, but they have the 10-0 lead. It's been an interesting game in that regards.
Well, losing C.J. Williams on the first play of the game probably altered their game plan.
You're right. That was a key factor, Emery, when C.J. Williams went down early. 2nd and 7. Here comes backside pressure and the sack. The freshman Stover didn't see the pressure coming from the backside. He was fortunate to hold on to the football.
Towson has to do a better job on the edge. They've had issues with these edge rushers coming off, and that's just a great move by Morgan State.
Agablees
did a great job just slapping the hands of the offensive lineman down and accelerating to the quarterback. But those tackles have had some issues all night long. They've done a better job on the inside, both with their base blocks and also picking up the blitz. But on the outside, those tackles have really had their hands full with these Bear pass rushers.
40 seconds to go in the third quarter. Tigers 3rd and 13. Pressure comes, setting up the screen, and not very successful. They get to completion, but not a whole lot there. Dorsey, the freshman from Frederick, Maryland. Catch on the screen. It'll bring up a 4th down, and we'll have to punt it away here. So we're coming to the final few seconds of the third quarter.
I will say this. If you're a CAA team or a MEAC team watching these two squads play, their offenses will figure this thing out as they move forward, but you have to be afraid and also impressed with their defense. These are two really good defensive football teams.
And that is the end of the third quarter. We're going to the fourth quarter. Can the Bears come back on their rival? Right now, the Tigers looking to win the Battle of Greater Baltimore. One more quarter to go. Fourth quarter straight ahead. The good stadium for the Battle for Greater Baltimore. Phil Schinner along with the czar of the playbook, Emery Hunt. And to cool down on the sidelines. The Tigers will punt it to Morgan State to start the fourth quarter. Toomey to punt it. That's where the Bears have the football here in the fourth. Not a whole lot of offense in this game. 139 yards of offense for Morgan State. Towson 92 yards of offense on 45 plays.
Both teams are combined 6 for 24 on third downs.
And not a lot of drives. Morgan State leads the time of possession after 3 quarters, 25 minutes compared to the Tigers' 19 minutes. Penalties have definitely been on one side. 12 against the Bears for 112 yards, just 3 against the Tigers. That pass incomplete.
It's been a lot of miscommunication in the past game.
Yeah, especially with the sophomore Bailey. That's who he was attending. There's a couple of times in this game that Staley to Bailey combination just looked like miscommunications.
Yeah, Bailey is not as spatially aware as you would like to see a receiver. He tends to get lost on the field, and that has thrown off their passing game.
So now you have Staley in the backfield with Walker and Harrell to each side of him. With 2nd and 10. Good look of Staley there. There's 2 backs next to him. Fires across the middle and incomplete. Looking for Poteet.
Yeah, he couldn't set his feet and throw that football. Poteet would still be running had he hit him in stride, or if Poteet would have settled down in that zone and caught the football. You see right there, Elijah Staley, as soon as he turned around, he thought he was going to stop and settle and hit him right there in between the 1 and the 4, but Poteet was running across the formation, across that coverage.
Poteet, the leading receiver for Morgan State in this game, 5 catches, 47 yards. 3rd down. Bears need a first. Need to put a drive together. Walker gives him the first and more. Gets out of bounds at the 41-yard line, and a flag is down. Gets the first down for Morgan State to move the chains. We'll have to wait and see what the penalty marker's about. The penalty marker's down on the 42. So right around where Walker went out of bounds. Fourth quarter, Tigers trying to hold on to a 10-0 lead.
Offense, number 13. That's a 10-yard penalty.
Yet another penalty on Morgan State. Coach Ferrier is just going to really have to work on this. 13 penalties now on the night.
Because the runner made the line of game, it's going to be first down.
How do you correct the penalties?
Here's what's happening. It's week 1, and you're allowing mental mistakes and mental fatigue to become physical mistakes, and that leads to holdings and offsides and things of that nature. For both teams, you can't allow those mental mistakes to become physical mistakes, and that's what's happening. That was another holding from a receiver out on the outside to clear room for Walker.
1st and 10 with 32 after the penalty. Miscommunication in the backfield. Staley's going to have to take a sack. The running back went one way. Staley looked the other way, and it's a busted play and a 7-yard loss. Let's go down to the field to Amanda Cool. Amanda?
Well, guys, Morgan Mahalik just went off to the locker room, so when Towson's offense comes back on, it looks like we'll see a lot more of Ryan Stover. I'll try to get an update on Morgan Mahalik shortly.
Okay, so maybe Morgan Mahalik with an injury we're unaware of, and that was the reason for him leaving the game. Amanda will check on that. Working the sidelines for us tonight here at Battle of Greater Baltimore. 2nd and 15. Pressure again. Can he get out of it? He loses the football. It's on the turf. The ball's still on the turf. And another turnover by the Bears. Wow, 2 back-to-back busted plays by Morgan State.
It's almost like Morgan State makes a positive play and takes 2 negative plays back-to-back. You see right there, just relentless pressure from the Tigers, getting the ball to come out and also still flying to the football to pick it up, putting their offense in great position.
Almost a scoop and a score. A lineman's dream, right, Emery?
We almost had a candidate for the Heisman, which is given to the big man at the end of the season. So good job by
Clifton Jones there, number 73. He wanted the scoop and score. Number 53 was the man that came up with the big hit in Carter. The redshirt freshman had to hit, but almost the scoop and score by big 73 Jones. Stover's pass, quick hitter, complete. Not a whole lot of running room there. Greenwood makes the catch. And loses a yard or two. Greenwood, his third catch of the game. Simpson has the most catches out of the backfield. 4 catches tonight, leading the way for the Tigers, catching the football. Good field position. Let's see if the Tigers could take advantage of yet another Morgan mistake miscue. The fumble. 3 interceptions, the fumbles, and a lot of penalties tonight have really hurt Morgan State. 2nd and 12 after the 2-yard loss. Simpson barrels ahead, takes on a hit at the 10-yard line, and moves forward. You'd like to see that, especially a running back of his size. I know you played the running back position. That play there has to stand out for you.
Yeah, this is a guy that weighs no more than 190 pounds probably, and he does a great job in running behind his pass. You see him give the little shimmy to set up the defender, but lowers his shoulder and runs him over. You like that physical toughness, but that's something that Coach Ambrose preaches throughout his entire practice, his entire weight program. Everything is about compete and being physically and mentally tough.
3rd and 7 from the 9. The Tigers can get a first down here. Pass corner of the end zone. You see that so many on that fade route, but incomplete, unable to hook up. Good coverage and covered well. Trying to get it to Greenwood, but well covered.
That was a big stop on 3rd down as well. And I like how the refs let those guys play. It was a little hand fighting going down in the end zone. Let those guys play, no flag, but it still sets up Towson in great position for a field goal.
And now there's a 42-yarder going to come on and try another field goal to put the Tigers up 13-0. It's a chip shot for him. He's been solid. Kick is up. Kick is no good. I jinxed him. It stays 10-0. So with 11:52 to go in the 4th quarter, how about that? They couldn't convert on that field goal. I talked him up. Coach talked him up. Coach Ambrose, when I talked to him this week, said he was very pleased with his kicking game and talked about his young kicker that made some big kicks last year for him.
There's going to be a lot of tape this week for both teams to go over and get better. You know, it's been a mistake-filled game, but they're going to learn from this, and these two teams, I think, will be better moving forward.
Saw that shot on Coach Ambrose on the sideline. He talked this week about his kicker. Thought for sure he'd be able to get him points and opportunities like that. So the missed field goal, let's see what the Bears can do to try to get back into this game. Eric Harrell.
And here's the thing,
5 yards.
You're only down 2 plays, I like to say, 10 points, 2 plays.
Yep.
You know, so you can't get it all back in one play, but they have to find a way to string together positive plays in a row. This is a great run by Harrell, just getting upfield and picking up 5 yards on 1st down. Can they string together consecutive positive plays? Something we haven't seen them do in quite a while.
Harrell with 6 carries tonight. Walker this time. Good 1-2 punch, gets the 1st down and more.
He almost squirted through there and picked up a bigger gain.
He was low to the ground. It looked like he was going to squirt his way. Got enough for the 1st down. 10-yard pickup. Watch him go here.
Nice zone read right there, reading the end man on the line of scrimmage. And
good block by Harrell.
That's the other part, too, about utilizing 2 backs. If they're willing to block for each other, then you can keep the defense off balance.
You'd think at this point in 4th quarter, 10:53 to go, clock ticking, that the Bears need some points. As you said, it's 2 possessions, so anything at this point, just get on the board. Harrell in the sweep, the jet sweep. Gets 6 yards.
And what's causing the defense some issues here on this series is DeAndre Harris, the reserve quarterback, is in the change of pace guy. So they have to respect his ability to run, which is opening up those running lanes for both Walker and Harrell.
2nd and 4 after the 6-yard game. Eric Harrell, who had the game winner when we were on the Sportsfever Television Network last year at Morgan State, the win over Howard.
That was a great game.
Staley, the keeper. Bounces off a towel. I'm sorry, that anytime they're going to run the football, they're not going to have their guy that can throw it getting hurt. They put in, of course, Harris, who is the guy in there to run, and Harris does what he's supposed to and gets the 5 yards and the first down. And Harris, I guess they say, you can take these hits. They don't want Staley taking hits.
Exactly, and look what Harris has been able to do this drive. Got them out the shadow of their end zone, and now they're close to the 50-yard line. Now they can get back into their regular offense.
Staley's back in now. Harris was in there to get the first down run. 1st and 10 from the 45. Straight ahead, trying to get something going. It's kind of weird now, Harrell there with the carry, that now they're going to the running game. You know, they're down 10-0. I guess the intention was to, you have the hype of Staley to try to get out there and get the passing game going. But now Coach Ferrier, in this drive, putting some positive run plays together and moving the chains.
He's shown a lot of trust in his defense and in their ability to get off the field.
But both teams have been really bad on 3rd downs tonight. Staley will keep it. Breaks a tackle, then gets hit from behind at midfield. So a pickup of 5 yards after breaking 1 tackle and getting to the 50.
Critical part of the game right here, and again, on that zone read, they don't expect Staley to take it, so that's why he was able to get those positive yards and the crucial 5 yards on that particular play as well.
Big 3rd down, 3rd and 5 from midfield. The Bears need some points, and they need them in a hurry to get back in it. Staley with the completion and the first down. Gets the ball out quickly. The first down for the Bears. And Morgan State, a 1st and 10 for the Bears.
Their offense is doing a great job of just taking small bites at the apple to try to work their way down the field. But like you said, they have to come over with points on this drive.
Brandon Jones on the catch and the first down. Staley has used a lot of wide receivers. 7 different guys have caught balls tonight. Nice completion there. David with the catch.
And Towson is doing a good job of just allowing them to take time off the clock with these short passes. They're not giving up anything deep down the field. They're going to slowly start to tighten up against the run. And they're going to force Eli Staley to make things happen deeper down the field.
Sean David with 5 catches. They go back to David, who gets the first down inside the 35-yard line, and a first down for the Bears.
It's their most impressive offensive drive since the first quarter, quite honestly. A little bit of everything. You see the mix in with the running game. You see the passing game start to come alive, the short passing game as well.
Back-to-back completions to David. The Bears trying to mount a comeback. Down 10-0, been shut out. 7:30 to go, 4th quarter. Bailey was the one in motion. Screen pass dropped by Harrell.
And they're going to get Bailey for illegal motion here. He started to go forward. It's not Canadian football. Started to go forward before the snap.
I always like arena football. You get that running start.
That forward motion.
Number 13, 5-yard penalty remains. First down.
So yet another penalty. Morgan State, they just continue to stack up 14 penalties now on the Bears. A look at Eric Harrell with the game-winning touchdown last year against Howard, a game we had for you on the Sportsfever Television Network. By the way, we have 3 more Morgan State games coming up this year for you on the Sportsfever Television Network. At home against Savannah State, and then at Howard, and then at home against Florida A&M.
Timeout.
There's a timeout on the field. We'll step aside with 7:14 to go in the 4th quarter, and the Tigers holding on to a 10-0 lead over the Bears.
The Good Companies is one of the largest.
Monday Night Football is back. Saints Vikings at 6:55. Chargers Broncos at 10:15. September 11th on ESPN.
First Take is on the move. Next stop, Dallas, live for Giants Cowboys.
This crowd is so fired up.
Maybe I am a Dallas Cowboy fan because they make me laugh.
First Take, live from Dallas, September 8th at 10 Eastern on ESPN.
Back at Johnny Unitas Stadium. First and 15 for Staley and the Bears. Big completion and a first down. What a ball. He threw that. Didn't even have all his feet down. Was able to, that's just pure arm strength. A great pass out to David. 3 catches in a row now for that combination of Staley and David, but threw that off balance. It's just arm strength.
Holding on the offense, number 84. 10-yard penalty, replay, first down.
What is Coach Ferrier saying? He's got to be saying, you got to be kidding me, right? I mean, this is now penalty number 15.
And he saw that flag come out instantly, so it's a tough break because, again, that was a great throw, great catch for a first down. Tight end on the end right there, just holding number 22, and you can't deny it. It's a hold.
Watch Staley throw this football off balance like that, and that strong arm to make that throw over there, and the completion to David. So the penalty pushes them back, first and 25. Tigers opening their season at home for the first time since 2014. Tigers looking to go 23-6 all time at home if they can hold on. Eric Harrell, full head of steam, gets up close to the original line of scrimmage.
Picked up 15 yards right there, looked like.
Yeah, pushed him back 15, gets back, and now you got 10 more yards to go still to get the first down. Good finish by Harrell.
Attitude play right there, man. You want to lower your shoulder, let them know you're going to be here all evening long.
And you got to have some attitude as a running back, right? Sometimes you got to layer that boom. Here's Harrell again, taking a hit, bouncing off a tackle, maybe for a gain of 1.
Now here's a big play because it's 3rd and about 9. You're on the 32-yard line, so right on the edge of field goal range. You don't want to take a deep shot. You do want to get the first down, but if you can't, you want to pick up at least 5 yards, push this thing inside the 30-yard line, give your field goal kicker a chance.
Here we go, 3rd and 9. Walker in motion. Screen to Harrell. Bounces off a tackle, but short of the first. Brings up a 4th down. What do you do here?
I would take the points because you do need 2 possessions to tie this ball game, but it looks as if they're gonna go for it.
And knowing Coach Ferrier, I think he might go for it. They're lining up to go for it. 4th and 2. Clock at 5:15. Trigg in motion. They got a completion. And that's a first down. Big play. They come across and get the first down completion to Jones. 6'5", big target out of Salt Lake City, Utah.
He's the tight end that had the holding call earlier. You see right there, a nice little play fake, dump it out in the flat. You're expecting him to break that tackle, which he did, because that was a great job by Towson's safety, Monty Finner, who had the interception earlier. He had that guy wrapped up short of the sticks, but he was able to carry him 2 yards for that first down.
Big first down catch for the Bears. Here they come. Down to the Tigers 21. Staley will keep it. Fights his way down inside the 15-yard line to the 14. Good first down run, gain of 8 yards. Bring up a 2nd and short. You like those 2nd and short opportunities if you're a play caller.
Well, this has been, like I've said before, this has been the most impressive drive of Morgan State since the first quarter. Can they come away with points will be the biggest question. Otherwise, it's going to be all for naught. It'll have been a great time-consuming drive for Towson.
They had a 15-play drive in the first half where they weren't able to convert any points, and Staley goes nowhere in that play. Loses a yard. Yeah, that was their, previous to this, that was their best drive of the night back in the first half where they had that 15-play drive but weren't able to get any points. So we have a 3rd down coming for the Bears.
And this is why I always say points add up no matter when you get them throughout the game. So, you know, if you can get a field goal here, field goal there, they add up, and that's why you have to try to get points when you can if you're on offense.
3rd and 3. Ball's at the 15. Bears looking for their first score of the night. Staley, end zone. In and out of the hands, incomplete. Good coverage there, looking for Brian Gentry. Gentry his first target of the night, the 6'3" junior, unable to come down with it.
Yeah, that was a chance for the touchdown, and he judged that football completely wrong. You got to go up with your hands out and extended. He wanted to cradle that. That's not what you're taught as a receiver. Tough break right there because it blew their chance of getting a touchdown. Now they're sending out the field goal team.
Justin Dixon on coverage there. Let's see who we have kicking. It's been a competition. The kick is up, and the kick is no good. So the kicking troubles continue for Morgan State. Luke Lorenzel, the sophomore. I think Coach talked to you about his kicking situation, and Luke gets an opportunity, and the laces were right facing to his feet, so he didn't get the ball spun around.
The most important aspect of a game is always special teams, how you cover, how you kick, how you are able to return. And if you're not spending the minute details on that third aspect, it affects the ball game. Keep in mind, we saw 2 missed field goals tonight by Morgan State.
Yeah, 2 separate kickers. So we still have a kicking competition. If you have any eligibility left, Morgan, I'll leave you here. You can go, Emery, and see if you can kick it away from Morgan. Outside run goes nowhere for the Tigers, but now the clock's an issue. Down 2 scores, 3 minutes to go in this game, and you'd figure the Tigers are going to keep it on the ground and try to get some first downs. And I guess timeout-wise, you see there both teams with 2 left. The Bears need to come up with some stops.
Another great play once again by Ian McBurrow, who has played a phenomenal game for
he's
Morgan
been good
State.
tonight. Very good tonight. Has an interception. It's been tough.
They went on a 4.5, 5-minute drive that essentially was their own death knell.
Freshman in at quarterback, Stover. The completion. Oh, what a hit. Incomplete. Wow. What a big-time hit by Rogers.
He's been picked on a lot tonight, but he has made 2 big plays. Boom! That's a good job right there. Coming up and with a nice form tap to draw that ball loose.
It was a completion until Graves came up and layered the boom, the big-time hit. Good reaction there from the Bears sideline on that big play.
He was trying to tell the guys pick up the ball. You don't know if that was a catch and fumble, so.
Coach Ambrose looking on, 3rd and down for his Tigers. Stover to throw. Fires downfield, incomplete. In and out of the outreach hands, trying to extend it. It was Leatherberry. Just couldn't come down with it. Just thrown a little too far for Leatherberry to make the catch.
Morgan State went cover 0, which means no safety back deep. It was straight pressure up front, man coverage on the back end, and that ball was just out of reach. He had a step, but the pressure made him throw that football a little bit farther than he wanted to.
So a quick series for the Tigers, and they have to punt it back to the Bears, and the Bears will have good field position. Toomey standing on the 2-yard line to punt it away. Barnes with the catch, midfield. Wow.
That's a heck of a hit, man.
Big hit. 2:14 to go. We'll see if the Bears can get on the board and get back in this game. We'll be right back. It's the battle for Greater Baltimore. Sportsfever Television Network.
They say the path chosen today.
Is your coffee spiked in the morning? Spiked with genius juice. I'm gonna walk off this show right now. This is unbelievable. Zip it. Zip it. Quiet.
First Take is on the move. Next stop, Dallas. Live for Giants Cowboys.
This crowd is so fired up.
Maybe I am a Dallas Cowboy fan because they make me laugh. Eli Manning over every quarterback who ever lived.
First Take, live from Dallas. September 8th at 10 Eastern on ESPN.
Monday Night Football is back. Saints Vikings at 6:55. Chargers Broncos at 10:15. September 11th on ESPN.
It ain't easy being on top. Everyone wants to bring the trophy home.
Roll Tide to Georgia.
Bears need some points, down 10-0. Time is a factor, 2:14 to go. Bragging rights on the line. These two schools right down the street from one another. Staley's pass complete. 6-yard pickup.
Two-minute offense right now for the Bears.
Staley. Ball's thrown into the turf and incomplete. Stops the clock. You made a good point, Emery, that the offense, a lot of issues, both sides, both sidelines, but both defenses played a heck of a game tonight. They created turnovers, they got turnovers, made big hits. So that's the positive for both sides, right? Morgan and the Tigers have to be happy with the way they played defensively. 3rd and 4. Staley fires it. Completion and a first down. Big catch. They're in the hurry-up 2-minute offense now. Torrance Little Jr. with the catch. 8 different receivers have now caught the ball for Morgan State. Staley, sidelines, incomplete.
Yeah, there are some positives you can take away from this game on both sides of the ball for both squads. Offensively, you can see the arm strength from Staley. That was a perfect ball that hit the receiver right in the numbers, and you said he spreads the wealth, which is great. They just have to get on the same page from a timing perspective.
Torrance Little Jr. coming up with that catch there on that replay. 2nd and 10. Staley, here comes some pressure. Has to throw it away because of the pressure. Tigers were coming. Incomplete pass. 1:33 to go. The last Morgan State win in this rivalry was in 2009. 12-9 win. Of course, the Tigers lead this series, but it's just great that they're playing again. Next year, they'll be playing at Morgan State. They're talking about extending this rivalry to continue for years to come. Incomplete pass. Jones was the intended receiver and incomplete.
And we're not exaggerating the distance between these two schools. They're literally about 8 miles apart.
Yeah, it's close. I mean, it's a couple exits and you're there, and it's great that these two teams are playing. It's amazing that the state of Maryland, with only 3 Division I college football programs, and 2 of them playing tonight, and Maryland being the other one, and that's where the Tigers will be next week. Take on the Terps, who had that big win today over Texas. And the sack by the Tigers, that should seal it. Sack of Staley had nowhere to go. Black jerseys converge.
Just a great job of collapsing the pocket around him, and that's what you want to see, a defense versus a guy that has shown the ability to make things happen outside the pocket. You want to get push instead of pressure. Bring those tackles toward him. Therefore, he has nowhere to go, no escape route, and he did that to ultimately ice this ball game.
Morgan State has 2 timeouts. 1:23 to go.
But they don't have 2 touchdowns.
That's what they need. Yeah, I would take the touchdowns, and you could take away the timeouts.
Right.
Because if you got touchdowns, you wouldn't need the timeouts. The freshman is in at quarterback. Tigers next week will be at Maryland. And Morgan State will take on Albany next week.
Again, both defenses, if there's anything the coaches will be happy about in this ball game, it was that their defenses came to play. They won't be happy about the penalties. They won't be happy about the turnovers. They will be happy about how well these guys competed, and their defenses will be strong throughout. We know Towson has a very tough division to play in, the conference to play in the CAA, but they're going to be good throughout the rest of the season.
Don't forget, next week, the Sportsfever Television Network Game of the Week. Division II football in Pennsylvania. Westchester will take on Slippery Rock. Westchester's been at power the last couple of years in the East. Slippery Rock's done pretty well in the state of Pennsylvania in the West. So that's next week, 6 o'clock. And don't forget, we have 3 more Morgan State games coming on the Sportsfever Television Network in October. October the 14th at Morgan State, taking on Savannah State, and then we'll be in the nation's capital for Morgan State at Howard on October 21st, and then back to Morgan State on October 28th as Florida A&M comes in to play the Bears. So more Morgan State Bears football on the Sportsfever television network coming this year. Hope you enjoyed tonight. It's been a lot of fun. Battle for Greater Baltimore. Good crowd here at Johnny Unitas Stadium. They came out despite the rain early on. Now the Tigers just trying to run out the clock and get on to their trip next week to take on the Maryland Terps for only the second time in school history.
That's not a far trip either.
No, it's not. Platt was on the run there, the freshman.
These two teams, it's almost like Lehigh and Lafayette. They were only separated by 9 miles.
Yeah, what a rivalry there. You know, you talk about Sean Simpson, the running back for the Tigers who had the only touchdown of the night. He's from Easton, PA, and he's used to a rivalry that he played in high school, one of the greatest high school football rivalries in the country. When Easton goes across the bridge to play Phillipsburg, New Jersey, they play at Lafayette. They pack the place there at Fisher Field, and he was involved in that for 4 years as a Red Rover at Easton. And so Sean knows very much about a rivalry, and that Easton-Phillipsburg rivalry was one of the best in high school football.
In my travels before broadcasting, I spent a lot of time at Phillipsburg High School. Shout out to Kerry Neiman, the auto instructor who played minor league baseball and also Major League Baseball for the St. Louis Cardinals. But yeah, you're absolutely right. There are literally right across that bridge that separates Pennsylvania and Jersey, Phillipsburg and Easton.
They play on Thanksgiving in front of a huge crowd at Lafayette at Fisher Field. Stover under center, replace Mahalik. That's Simpson in motion. The Tigers trying to pound another first down, and a flag comes out. Again, the give was to Platt. It's been an honor for the Sportsfever television network to be here tonight. The Battle of Greater Baltimore, the rivalry back. Next year, these same two teams will play again on campus at Morgan State.
Block. On the offense, number 81 and number 78. That's a 15-yard penalty. Third down.
Calvin Hudson is our referee, has been busy tonight.
He sounded upset on that call.
Yeah, he did. He's like, come on, let's end this thing here. Throwing some penalties, throwing a lot of penalties tonight. Most of them have been on Morgan State. There hasn't been too many on the Tigers, but that one pushes the Tigers back after the penalty, so a third down. With 1:03 to go, obviously. Coach Ferrier will look for his Bears to improve on those mistakes that you mentioned before, the penalties, the turnovers, things that you cannot win football games when those things happen. 44 seconds to go, and a timeout by the Tigers.
Timeout. Towson. It's their first charge timeout of the half. It's a 30-second timeout.
We'd like to thank all of our sponsors for having us here tonight, and of course, Morgan State, Towson University, and their athletic departments. Glad to have the school presidents on as well at the half with Amanda Kuhl. Two great interviews, two great institutions. And it's only right that they're playing football again, and they realize that. I was at the press conference over the summer, and Coach Ferrier and Coach Ambrose very passionate about the fact that the love for the city, and the love for the fact that they have this rivalry and should play every year, and they're going to make sure that happens.
And shout out to Amanda Kuhl down there on the sideline. She's been toughing it out in this weather, man.
That's the tough part of being on the sidelines. You started your broadcasting career, you said, booth only, please. For the czar of the playbook. You don't want to get that playbook wet.
Exactly, you know.
41 ticks to go. Tigers trying to put it away. A little end around. Trying to get some extra yards. Dancing around is Sean Simpson, the super sophomore. He was outstanding last year as a kickoff returner, explosive. I mean, everyone in the CAA knew about Simpson by the end of the year. They knew that he was a dangerous Tiger. There's Coach Ambrose. Going to get a first time they played at home here at Johnny Unitas Stadium since 2014. Of course, it wasn't that many years removed that Coach Ambrose had his team playing in the National Football Championship. He wants to get back to that. So the final few seconds tick away. And the battle for Greater Baltimore goes to the Tigers. They beat their crosstown rivals, Morgan State, the final 10-0 for Amanda Cool down on the sidelines. For my partner, the czar of the playbook, Emery Hunt, and the entire Sports Fever Television Network crew, good night from Greater Baltimore. Take care, everybody.